It is Friday morning. Friday morning in Montreal. It's fucking raining. And let's do what they used to do. You know, back in the day when people didn't have windows, the radio announcers would tell them the weather. So it's raining and it's crappy outside. There you go. That's your morning weather report. And now with the news. My name is Phil Balabanos. Welcome to the morning show. If you've been in the chat saying good morning to each other, we're watching you. We see you and we say good morning to you also. Isn't that right, Poseidon?
Yes, good morning.
Sure. Bring down the snare in my headphones a little. Welcome to the morning show. Like I said, my name is Phil Balabanos. If you need videos, if you need all kinds of cool stuff made for you for the internets, and that was adorable. Go to balabanos.com. Coming in live from the South Shore is a man that I'll get to in just a second because I want to segue to him right before we get into the juicy bits. Speaking of juicy bits, the Poseidon 6'9", producing the fuck out of this podcast. Say good morning.
Oh, good morning.
He doesn't even know when I call his name.
I already said it.
No, you said it in the language of the oppressors. You said Guten Morgen.
Yes.
Yeah, so Poseidon's on the internet doing nonsense. You can check him out. Coming in from the shore, the mouth of the South, it's George Hansusos with the news. Also, before George says anything, George, for some strange reason this morning, is premiering an episode of the Backstage podcast while we're live. What is he doing?
He hates the Backstage podcast.
Or he hates the show. I don't know. He's trying to split the viewership.
He's self-sabotaging the Backstage podcast.
The man of the hour himself, Pantelis, is in the studio today on time and primed for I got no rhymes.
I just walked by. I think in this building, there's that NDP, the NDP candidate. I was thinking of inviting her over. Maxime Bernier is supposed to swing by today.
Battle Royal.
No, not together. But it'll be funny to have the communist point of view. She seems like a nice little lady. I don't know. She seems like a nice lady. Maybe give her a shot. Give her a shot.
Yeah. Her office is right here. I like how like the liberals, the incumbent liberals, they have this big ass street front property.
Yeah.
And Melanie Joly's like, come on in, I'll show you the way. And this one's like on the 4th floor.
Well, Melanie Joly was also supposed to come in, and she went silent. So what I've noticed is the liberals very scared to have regular conversations that are not doctored. Everyone else, including the NDP, I just refuse to have them on. Everyone else is open to it.
You to have anyone on, I don't think.
Nah, what are we going to sit there and talk about?
So
Imaginary money.
So many.
If you vote for me, you all get $1 million. We know that's not true, Jackmeat. We know that's not true. So, what are we going to talk about? But she seems nice though, that NDP lady here, so I might bring her
forgot to let George actually speak.
Bring George in.
Hi, George.
Sorry, George.
So George has the Backstage podcast, and he also has Just Us Dads.
Both good podcasts, but Just Us Dads is really picking up. They have a weight loss competition. Always fun to see dudes try to lose weight.
It's interesting to watch them put on the weight while they try to lose the weight. It's really, I gotta say, it's like they're ballooning, and I don't mean their viewers.
That's what's been happening to me for the past couple of 5 months.
Yeah, the past couple of 5 months.
Past couple of 5 months.
George, how you doing?
The English language.
Well, just to clarify, I'm not premiering anything.
I
mean, it was 30 minutes, so it ended before. Fuck.
I don't know.
George timed this perfectly. George, your Bosnian internet is garbage.
George, you're literally live right now on the Backstage. I'm watching you and
in 2 places at once, George. This is amazing.
Oh, it's Josh.
You are the internet.
How can that be, man? It was 30 minutes. I put it at 9:30. It should be finishing soon. Anyway,
what people don't understand about George is he's like the old guy of the group. He's just like, hey guys, I'm gonna do some podcasting, but I need the internet connections. What computers I buy should? And you're
no, he didn't ask like that. But his question.
Should I read the text?
But his question, though complicated, was valid. It's just too complicated to answer in a text. But it was valid. It's like, look, I want to do this, and this live. Yeah.
The question is valid. It's just that how George posits the question is like, when my dad says need to take good pictures, doesn't say what kind, what's the best video camera? And you're like, what? Because there's two thoughts happening. They just don't understand the grand scheme of it.
No, George, you're going to talk to us about the debate?
Oh man, did you guys watch it?
I did actually. I gathered myself. I caught the tail end of it, and I have my 2 favorites of the debate. I want to see what you think.
Let's talk about that. Just before we go, let me tell you what I did this year, probably for the first time ever, because we're all used to watching the debate on TV. We want to see the visuals. Last debate in French and this debate now in English, I listened to it on the radio. I thought, you know what? Forget about the visuals. Let me focus just on the message. Okay, let me try and eliminate any perceptions that come through during a debate, and I just want to focus on the message.
Why?
And I did that. And honestly, guys, I know it sucks because you can't see anything, but you seem to get a much better understanding of what they're saying. And you don't have all the expressions and Justin Trudeau's facial things and his hands going up in the air.
Oh, he was very upset, dude. He was noticeably
drilled
flustered.
yesterday night.
No, it wasn't the questions. What bugged me was I was like, whatever. Everybody gets asked questions. It was his attitude of,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, calm down, bro.
The reason why I had to bring it up is because even while I'm listening to the audio and I can't see this, I can feel it. I'm like, oh my God. He's getting drilled. He's losing his patience.
He was
you can hear
like,
him hyperventilating.
Yeah, he was He was very upset. I was like, this is not a good look.
He was acting like imagine if North Korea held like a mock debate and for some reason they asked him real questions.
Yeah.
That's what he was. He was like, well, how come?
So here's what I think. And we spoke about the two previous debates in French where I thought Aaron O'Toole did okay, but he didn't really stand out. He stuck to his messages. He was really well coached. The plan is. Kept repeating the cassette. And I thought, Jesus Christ, man, you got to come out of that because, you're losing your ground. Justin Trudeau performed really well in the French ones to the point where I think he had stabilized the trend for his party going down and for the Conservatives going up. And I thought deep down that the English debate is going to be the one that's really going to set them apart because, first of all, it's all of their most of the candidates' main language, except for François Blanchet, who,
as far as I'm concerned, won that debate. But go on.
He was amazing. He was amazing, the guy. Anyway,
the only one that could answer questions in English was the Francophone. He's the only one who seemed to speak English.
Surprising.
Everybody else who was supposed to speak English as their first language couldn't answer directly. The Francophone, all he did was ask, "How do you say this in English?" They would tell him, and he'd go and fucking rip him.
I found that it was strange. I could barely hear Maxime Bernier talking at the debate, though.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't invite him.
He wasn't there. The fucking
So anyway, I think it was a horrible debate.
Yeah,
I hate this format. The moderator felt at some points that she was part of the debate. It's like, shut your fucking mouth. You're not there to give your opinion. Just ask the question, let them answer. That's the whole point of the debate. So I didn't like that about it.
I found she was tough on all of them, though.
But it's not your job, man. And especially when they brought Rosemary Barton. Like,
dude, that train wreck. Holy shit, bro! What an angry. You ever seen someone? You're on TV. She's walking towards the podium, and she's already scowling. Who is she? She's a
she's one of the journalists that they brought in.
Journalist at CBC. All she does is yell angry shit and throw softball questions, but she's just very like, like very angry. Like, Jesus Christ. Just ask a question, you dummy.
Just do that again.
Dude, it was bad. She's just scowling the whole time.
And it was horrible. And guys, seriously, I'm listening to this on the audio. I'm not seeing any of this now, and I'm getting this, right? So imagine if I were watching it, I would have, shut off the TV. But anyway, in any case, it was an opportunity for these guys to shine, especially the ones that are much better in English, like Aaron O'Toole, for example. And I find that that's what he did. He really stepped it up. He brought it to the next level. He was very, very strong.
Look, O'Toole, I've been making fun of him because of his name too. I will give him credit. I watched the debate yesterday. Yes, he did well, but Yves Blanchet, for me, did very well. And the woman, what's her name? Anime
Paul.
Bro, I liked her too. She's not going to win, obviously. It's a dumb party, but I like her. She seemed genuine. She legitimately seemed to care about people. Like, I was like, fuck, if she was part of a better party, she could garner a lot of votes.
Here's the problem with Anime Paul. First of all, she's afraid to lose in her own riding. And for the first time that I can remember,
it might happen.
We have a leader of a party that isn't campaigning across Canada, helping out their candidates in their respective ridings. She hasn't done it ever at all, not once.
Yeah.
She's focusing 100% on her riding. It's very
well. For the record, we have that NDP girl in this building. I have yet to see Jagmeet come here and support her.
Yeah, but he's still going around. Like,
Jagmeet's not going to come here.
He's not going to come here.
He knows what's good for him.
If he comes here, he's going to go to the ridings that he wants to pick up.
Jagmeet shows up in the hallway. Poseidon's like,
"You guys talking shit about me?"
All right, I'm going to jail.
He just walks up to Poseidon and hands him his keys.
Yeah.
Out of pure habit.
I remember you.
Yeah, here's the Escalade. Park it round back.
So in general, I think it was a very bad campaign for Justin Trudeau. He was attacked on all fronts, and it was expected because they're much more capable in that language. Whereas in French, They wanted to play it safe. I think the fact that the English debate happened to be the last one of the series is probably going to hurt Justin Trudeau, I think, because it's the last thing that they're going to remember. It's the English one.
So no one's doing a debate in any of the native languages. Huh.
Well, yeah.
Interesting.
But to go back to Anime Paul,
that's a cool name.
I was waiting for this debate because obviously she's much more capable in English. Her answers I found were completely disconnected. They're asking her about environment. She's talking about changing the culture in Parliament.
All her thing was about how these guys suck. That's why I liked her.
No, but
I mean, she knows she's not winning.
They're like, yo, exactly.
Shit.
So I'll give you an example. That's why I like Yves Blanchette answered honestly because he had nothing to lose, and he even said, "They go if you in charge of Canada." He's like, "I have no interest in running Canada. What are you talking about? I can't even run Canada. First of all, you can't even vote for me in other. I mean, I care about Quebec." I was like, "Yo, this motherfucker's being honest. He's a bit of an arrogant guy. I get it, but he was smart. He was clear and concise, and it's not his first language, and he was fucking perfect in English. The only thing I didn't like was that he was another one of those people who's like, I refuse to answer questions from Rebel News and all that. It's like, answer everyone's question. Just answer everyone's fucking question.
Did that happen? I lost interest after a while. Like,
it was the funniest thing.
Basically, after Jagmeet said the money's gonna come,
this was the debate. This was the debate in a nutshell. Yves Blanchette is like, I am not a racist, you idiots. That's basically it.
Sure.
They
I saw that part.
Then Anime Paul was like, what's the deal with these fucking people in Parliament? They're garbage. Am I right? Right? And then you go Trudeau like, I'm the Prime Minister.
I'm a pro-Québécois.
Then O'Toole's like, yo, this guy's kind of shitty, right? Like, we can all agree. You guys, we want to pay less taxes. We want to, right? And then you had Jagmeet Singh who's like, look at me. Trudeau's a dumbass. That was literally the whole thing. That was literally the whole debate. Am I wrong, George?
It's pretty much on those lines, but Anime Paul, I think she missed an opportunity to kind of put her party on the map. I think she's gonna. I don't see how she's gonna help those three other candidates that have a seat in the House. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. Maybe not all three of them, but
follow-up question, George.
I don't think they're going to go back with 3 seats. She's doing a horrible campaign. Jagmeet Singh, I found that he was very good.
Really? Jagmeet Singh was showed to be more plastic than Trudeau yesterday. His answers were more phony than Trudeau. Because Trudeau, even though he came off as angry, at least he was legitimately trying to answer stupidly. But with some substance. Dude, there was no substance. This is literally so many times you find Jagmeet Singh. Like, so what are you gonna do about poverty? It's like the thing is, poverty. The line. What is poverty? What do you do about poverty? Poor people. Am I right?
Yeah.
Look, you didn't say anything.
No, that's not completely true.
Jagmeet Singh's goal yesterday
was to make Trudeau look bad.
To attack as much as possible Justin Trudeau because that's the vote they
funny.
want to go get.
Oh, did you hear at the end? Yves Blanchette goes, all these people. He goes negative. He goes. All these people are shit. He goes, all these people. There's one less shit than all the rest of it. And he points out O'Toole. O'Toole's like, yeah. It was the funniest moment. He goes, these are all garbage people, except that guy. That guy's all right. He's like, hey.
That's amazing.
Why would he do that, though? The Conservatives can hurt the bloc in Quebec.
No, because here's the thing. Literally, if you go by what they're trying to say, the Conservatives, under O'Toole, he's trying to do the opposite of what was done years ago. He's like, you know what? Yeah, why are we getting involved in provincial shit? Let's just give them and let them deal with it. Why are we putting conditions?
It's not that. Don't forget that the Conservatives came out from day one. The first thing that O'Toole announced was the contract with Quebec.
Doesn't catch.
He's giving everything that Legault wanted on his shopping list. O'Toole is giving it to him. It was the first announcement he did. He talked about the contract that we spoke about also on the show. So for Yves-François Blanchet, who's supposed to be there to represent the Quebec interests, he's looking at this guy and he's like, oh, you're ready to give everything?
You're going to do my job for me.
That's who I want to be in power, and I will hold the balance of power to make sure that I check.
Can we just establish for a second, like, let's just say it. It's kind of crazy that Quebec has its own party. Like, I know it's not new, but if you really think about it, like, on a federal level, to have a debate in 3 debates, 2 times in French, which most of the country doesn't understand, and to have a provincially, like the bloc, the existence of the bloc is kind of crazy.
There's a few, what you just said, you do bring up a lot of issues, but one of them is the fact that...
I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm just
No. One of them is the fact that you just said most of the country doesn't speak French. Mm-hmm. You're correct, and to me, that's still crazy. Because all the excuses we have, it's just because there's no effort put into learning French. Because all the excuses we give are bullshit. Because there's other countries that they speak 7 languages, and they're cool with that. So us, we can't have a country that has 2 languages we should be proud of. It should be good to learn. No one's going to make the effort in other provinces, and even here we should know. Anyways, so that always bugs me when the fact that it's an issue and you have only a few leaders speaking a bit, but general people, the classes in English outside of like Quebec and Ontario.
I mean, the French immersion programs are garbage.
Yeah, you should be proud, bro. Learn more fucking languages.
Maybe
Anyways,
in New Brunswick.
I see what you're saying,
Maybe.
but there is an argument to be made. He did say something interesting yesterday, Yves Blanchette, about. Because Quebec is a distinct nation in the sense that it might not be a nation as a country, but it is a nation of distinct culture and individual people.
I've always had issue with that statement.
But here's the thing. What he said something that I was like, oh, fuck, that's true about the natives. He goes, I agree with their plight. And he goes, and what's the Indian document called? The one that we kind of live by for all of the tribes? The one that they didn't
Indian
sign?
Act.
Yeah, when he goes that they didn't sign, and it's just like us, like it's acts that they were given to us. So yeah, maybe we should, whether it's individually, go one by one with all of the indigenous nations to see what better fits for them. Because right now they're under, of course they're not happy. They're not getting clean drinking water, and they're under a treaty that they never willingly participated in. This is more enforced. Like, this is what we're doing, guys. It's good, right? And I was like, fuck, he makes a good point. I'm glad that someone's bringing that up.
That is not the case with Quebec.
What do you mean?
That is not. Quebec was not a native population that was oppressed through conquest.
Well, they were oppressed for a while through conquest, yeah.
Not through because they were part of the conquerors. They can't. It's like me and you decide to take over a neighborhood.
They weren't together.
And then
The English and the French.
after.
No, the English and the French were enemies.
Of course,
Yeah.
but they were doing the same thing at the same time.
But it doesn't change the fact that they were at the end of the tail end they got
Sure.
oppressed. It
No,
doesn't
but
change.
All I'm saying is it's not the same. It's similar, but it's not the same.
No, it's not. But no one's saying it's the same. What we're saying is
But they shouldn't have the same options to rectify as the native population.
Why not?
Because it's really like, again, I'll say it again. It's not the same situation.
But hold on. But why not?
Because
If a people decide, let's say we have a province right now, right, that decides they want certain leniencies, or they want more control over federal funding, where it goes, or their tax dollars, they want more control. Why wouldn't we listen? And this goes to everyone. This goes to Alberta, Ontario.
Okay, that's
why
different.
wouldn't
If
we
you're saying
listen?
that for everyone, then okay.
But it is for everyone. Just because other people don't choose to exercise it.
To answer the question, here's the actual answer. And a lot of people may not agree with the blog because the reason they're there is to promote the sovereignty of Quebec. But it would be a bigger problem in a country like Canada for a party like the Bloc Québécois to be blocked. It just represents the health of our democracy to have a party that promotes the separation of Quebec. Look, that's what you believe in. Fine, you're free to do that. You're free to create your party, and if you can get enough support, good for you. And guess what? They have the support. So the people that think that the Bloc Québécois has no legitimacy of being there, look how many members they have sitting in the parliament.
Yeah.
So when you have like 30 or I don't know how many they have their voice, they have their right to be there. And let's not forget, and goes back to what Pantelis was saying, Quebec is a distinct society. It's a distinct nation within Canada, and it's different from the other provinces. And you have to go back to the time when the Bloc Québécois was created, the reason it was created. The reason the Bloc Québécois was created is because Brian Mulroney failed on 2 occasions. We have the Meech Lake, for those who remember the history, Meech Lake Accord and the Charlottetown Accord, to integrate Quebec into the Constitution and to give it distinct rights. It failed twice. So the people of Quebec, they were like, you know what, fuck this shit, we've had enough. We tried. There was a huge attempt to join the Federation, and we got fucked by the rest of the provinces.
Everyone else voted against Quebec, basically.
You know what I mean? So not everyone. They had managed to rally some support, but essentially it failed. So they had all this momentum growing back in the early 90s to do this, and that's how it got created. Now, Yves-François Blanchet is not a dumb guy.
No.
And the debate yesterday, he knew exactly what he was walking into. He knew that he was disadvantaged. His goal yesterday, for those who are listening or watching, was to prove that English Canada hates Quebec. That was his mission yesterday. And if you saw the post-debate interviews, he came out and said it. He goes, there's one thing that people should understand. Yesterday was the debate for Quebec. Today was a debate for Canada. The guy is fucking brilliant. He's an experienced politician. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is playing into his electorate. and it was made clear from the very beginning, and he played into it when they attacked him on supporting discriminatory laws from Quebec, and he came out and said, listen, that's what you think to the journalists, but the Parliament of Quebec passed it, and the Parliament of Quebec represents the electors of Quebec, and they believe that it is legitimate. So why don't you let the Parliament decide? And he stapled himself and his presence there. He goes, listen, I'm here to represent Quebec interest. I haven't spoken one day about sovereignty because it isn't an issue in Quebec, even though I'm a separatist. So right now in Quebec, that's what they want to pass. It passed in their parliament, so I have the obligation to bring it to Quebec and to support it. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what cards to play. He's not there randomly, man. So I think he did fantastic, and I agree with Pantelis. I think he came out on top of that debate. In terms of the leaders that are seeking
there's a
more
lot I don't like about him, but yesterday I really liked the fact that he was clear and concise, and to me, I still find it hilarious.
He was able to answer questions. That's what it is.
Directly, though. Yeah. He was able to answer directly. And whatever in his head, he might think because of his accent or whatever, because he's like, how do you say this or whatever? Bro, the guy sounded smarter than everyone else on the fucking stage, and it was his second language that he was using. He was fine.
He impressed me. The first time we heard him speak English, the first time I heard him speak English was in 2019 when he first ran. And I'm like, oh, okay, he can get around. The guy has done a clear effort. Yeah. I don't think there was a problem with his English. Okay,
not at all. Not at all, bro. Not at all. The guy had no problem with it, and he was.
I mean, he sounded like a French Canadian who studied English.
But but he was clear and concise in his answers. They made sense.
He didn't pussyfoot around answers.
The flow isn't there because he's thinking in French and translating it while he's doing it.
I know what that's like. I get him.
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there.
But he was great, and as for the leaders that are seeking support across Canada, Erin O'Toole, honestly. He stepped it up. He showed much more than what he showed during the French debates.
I wish Erin O'Toole has turned into one of those guys that I don't want to like, but now
he's all right.
But I'm close. Like his face still bugs me, but policy wise, like, if you have a job, if you work, and if you have kids or whatever, you're voting against your interest if you don't vote for this guy. Given the options we have right now. Tax wise, it would be for him, which is fucking crazy because you'd think Trudeau knows, okay, they're going to attack me based on how everything is more expensive now, how people don't have money. Maybe I should focus on that. Zero focus on. He's just promising stuff that's vague, and he's like, you need to vote for me so we could get out of this mess.
Because he knows
that's not a tangible thing. You've been saying that for years.
But hold on, he's the one that put us into this
I know, but look, the pandemic wasn't his fault, though. The pandemic was not his fault. And I'm surprised nobody mentioned that yesterday. I would have at least given credit to that. Yeah, okay, some of the stuff was mismanaged. And I'll be the first one to criticize Trudeau. However, how the fuck do we know how anyone else would have fared with such a shock treatment of there's a global pandemic, flights from here, people are dying, we don't know what's going on. Like, okay, maybe he mishandled
for a second.
Maybe he mishandled now towards the end. He 100% mishandled. He destroyed the economy. However, in the beginning, I don't know what I would have done in his fucking shoes.
I have a theory.
That's a crazy situation.
I have a theory.
Let's be honest about it. I'm just saying let's be honest about it. Let's not pretend like I'm better and I would do better. Let's not pretend that shit because we don't know.
Saying that. Sorry, Phil, I'm going to let you get back to your point, but he was saying that. Pantelis, every time he was like, listen, from the very beginning of this pandemic, I would come out publicly out of my house and I would say that I got your backs. I'm here. So he kind of focused on that.
But he had our backs for a bit. This is true, but lately he does not. When he says, I don't care about economic policy, not caring about people's grocery bills going up, inflation, you don't have people's back because you have your buddies' back, so that doesn't affect. But everyone else that works a regular job, you fucked.
We saw who clearly came on top of that debate, but I gotta give you, you gotta give it to Jagmeet Singh. Like in terms of the uppercuts, he was the one delivering them, man. When he told Trudeau, "You're a hypocrite. You cannot take a knee one day and then sue the Aboriginal kids," and Trudeau got pissed. Remember, I don't know if you guys saw. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "There are so many Aboriginal people waiting in courts right now, being sued by our government for whatever reason." Dude, it was nasty. I was listening to this on the radio, so I was like, "Oh my god."
I was watching it and it was nasty because it's weird because Jagmeet seemed like, look, I gotta say this, but he also seemed a little timid. He's like, I hope it doesn't get out of hand. I'll tell you one thing about Jagmeet Singh. He tried very hard to not lose his composure, where Trudeau didn't give a fuck about losing his composure. So in terms of presentation, Jagmeet tried a bit, but I didn't like that. Trudeau, at least you saw the real Trudeau. That I appreciated. He took out the mask and he was just a flustered rich kid who was like, why aren't people agreeing with me? So at least that existed. You know his political face that he puts on normally? We need to get together. He didn't have that yesterday. He tried in the beginning, and then when he saw that no one was buying it, even the reporters, he switched to just an angry kid. Yeah.
No, look, I think the debate is going to help O'Toole. We're going to see. I mean, it's going to take a couple of days before we see it reflecting in the poll. So I'm guessing by maybe the end of the weekend or Monday.
And even, what's her name? Anime called Trudeau. For anybody who doesn't know, she called him a fake feminist yesterday too.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? You're full of shit.
Yeah. She did a little bit of her punching as well. She called Yves-François Blanchet a racist.
But
I've invited many times so I can give him a lesson or whatever. Yves-François Blanchet wanted nothing to hear about it. Like I would have appreciated him coming out and saying, well, yeah, at the same time I can teach you what a few things about Quebec and just
he's gonna school her.
Yeah.
I wonder if the seats they have in the house.
He doesn't care, but he does not care about.
He doesn't give a shit about her.
He doesn't give a shit about her
one bit. He is campaigning very carefully to make sure that the Conservatives win because that's what he wants.
Trudeau kept all his promises.
Look,
is that a real question in the chat? Trudeau has not kept. I think how many promises has Trudeau kept? 3 out of 1,000. Trudeau doesn't keep his promises.
Here's the thing. I like. I wasn't gonna address it, but whatever. Yeah. The fact that a lot of people are coming out and saying, "Oh, the Conservatives aren't pro-choice." Okay, I understand that that's a big issue. It's a voting issue for some people. That's how they make decisions. But here's a hypothetical.
The decision's already been made, though. We're not backtracking on that. And also, the leader of the party right now, O'Toole, has come out and said, "We're not backtracking on that."
Saying, that's why I'm saying it now. She's saying that but did Trudeau keep all his promises? He's promising this, but he might backtrack.
Also, you think maybe O'Toole's going to lie and then start a?
First of all, that's a massive lie.
That wouldn't. No,
that's political suicide.
That's political suicide, but it wouldn't happen because it's very difficult already.
It's law.
It's law. It's very, very difficult, and there's no reason to do that. It changes nothing. You don't.
But
need
here's
to do
the
that.
thing: in Trudeau's Canada, 10 years from now. You'll have the right to get an abortion, sure. But if you don't, okay, forget everything else for a second. Let's just focus on what he's doing, what we know he's doing, the promises he's not keeping.
Yeah.
You won't be able to feed those kids.
Yeah.
You won't have first of all, you're going to have more kids because you won't have any money to buy condoms. You're going to be having fucking sex under a bridge underpass because the country is going to implode on itself. When milk costs $15 a liter, and your UBI check for $600 Canadian a month is awesome.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Don't fucking talk to me about choice.
Yeah, this is very dumb.
This is already law. Why are we debating
this? This is already law. There's nothing to this is like saying, are you sure the Conservatives, maybe they're going to ban gays? No, that's not going to happen. Gays are fine.
How do you even ban a gay?
Yeah, we've moved past this. This is not going to happen right now. You have to live in reality. And in reality right now, you as a Canadian, everyone here is at the precipice of getting royally Venezuelan fucked over if we continue down this path.
How do you say that in Spanish?
Yeah, you guys don't understand. The economy cannot sustain any more of this. It is that's why shit at the grocery store is going. This is we're about to go off a fucking cliff. We need to put the
we're
brakes.
Off the cliff.
It's crazy what's happening here.
We're flying.
But a lot of people don't understand this because they live every day. They go, it's normal. The government will just print money. They don't understand how it works. You think every other country couldn't have done that? You think every other country had to fucking implode?
We're pretty sure China's doing it, and we're just not aware of it. But that conversation for another day.
Yeah, we have to be very careful the way we tread right now because for an ideological victory in your head, we might doom our future generations. This election is very, very tricky for that. That's what people don't understand is that for ideological reasons, like I've never voted NDP, I've never voted Conservative, whatever the fuck it is. So I have to, like me, we've been lifelong liberals. You know how it is, guys.
No, I don't.
Oh, your family's not?
No, not at all. My dad is like a card. No, this time around, I don't know if my dad would want me to say this, but he's not voting Conservative this time. He told me who he's voting for.
Us,
which I respect, but my dad is like, when I was a kid, me and the old man used to fight. I'd be like, damn you old tyrannical fascist man voting for that Harper dude, flying the orange flag.
Well, I protested.
Just like shaking his head.
I protested against Harper downtown. I remember when I was in high school, lifelong liberals, but I got to do what's best for the country. Right now, this is what's best for the country. But yeah, it's very dangerous. We're on a slippery slope
right now.
And these broken, these broken promises, guys have to fucking be careful. There will
always be broken promises.
No. Forget. But listen to what there's no such thing. You don't get a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Okay, any promise of I will give you money. That money has to come from somewhere. So it's either borrowed, which is going to fuck us up on inflation, or it's taken from other people's taxes or your taxes. Be careful. The best thing you could do to stimulate the economy is cut people's personal tax spending, right?
So they have more
and then
money.
the government has to restructure where
Like-
the lower money that they're getting, where they spend it, and not to spend it frivolously on nonsense. So you can allow businesses and people to thrive. You need people's savings account to start going back up. You need people to have the ability, the buying power. Everything else, even if Trudeau decides, I'll give you $5,000 a month. If he
Useless.
gives you $5,000 a month, but now because of that, your grocery bill is $8,000 a month, it doesn't matter. It's all meaningless. You have to be very careful the way
They're
you
just
tread.
circulating, they're just circulating money around, and people don't. I feel like most people are short-sighted in that sense. They're like, "Oh, it works for me right now," but that's how we got in this mess.
Yeah.
I mean, Trudeau came out as Trudeau when he got elected, right? The country was in fucking good shape.
The first time he got elected,
Yeah,
I'm
the
telling you,
country
not only
was in
did I
great
vote
shape,
for him, but as
but then
George
you have
remembers,
Jagmeet.
I basically campaigned for him. I was telling everyone, like, we need to change fucking Trudeau. No, no, no.
Jagmeet Singh, who I've said this before, Jack Layton must be rolling in his fucking grave.
I like Jack Layton. I like them a lot.
Jagmeet. Sorry, Jagmeet comes out as this demagogue. He comes from nothing, and he's different, but he's accepted. So he's gonna change everything. And then you ask him a simple question. It was the first fucking question of the debate. Where is the money gonna come from?
Yeah, that was the best.
And he says, we are gonna tax
The ultra-rich.
But here's the thing.
But that's a vague statement.
Most of us,
Yeah.
not us, I can't use us specifically, but I mean, I could probably use myself because a lot of my clientele, right? Most of us are employed by the ultra rich,
Yeah.
right? So if all of the ultra rich are like, fuck it, it's not worth it for me, I'm going to Indonesia or Mexico.
Well, that's what
Guess
happens.
what happens? None of us are employed anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know if he knows, because that's a vague statement. Well, what do you mean the ultra rich? Like, do you mean Drake? Like, Drake pays his taxes, for example, but
Look,
are you gonna go?
he went into it a bit.
But hold on, because are you gonna go and get stuff that's right now legally not yours to get? Like, I don't understand. You're like, well, because you have extra in your savings account, give it to us.
Look, I read into it last night because after that question, I was like, what the fuck? What is the ultra rich? Like, give me the definition. It's like saying we're gonna tax, and then you just say Zurgenbergen. And you're like, what the fuck is
what does that
Zurgenbergen?
mean?
What does
Yeah.
that mean? So they want to get rid of some loopholes for offshoring money. That I'm okay with.
That I'm okay with.
That I'm okay with. They want to make sure that there's no more tax havens that are, in their opinion, unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I'm not sure, but I like the idea that they're getting rid of some tax loopholes. But at the same time,
I'm going to say something before you continue, just to close your loop.
I'm going to close my loop.
I am all for, no, you're going to close your loop, but I want to add it in because I don't want to forget. I'm all for tax, what is it?
Reform.
No, because there's tax fraud, there's tax evasion. If there's a rule in the law that helps you avoid paying taxes, I'm all for that. I just think it should apply to everyone. You get it? Equally, because there's a lot of loopholes that regular people, myself included, I'm a regular dude, don't have not just access to, are unaware of. You get it? So then when you find someone who's ultra rich, who has who handles that, and you can have access to that too. It's like, how come nobody told me? Like, the government tries to hide that shit from you. So I'm all for that as long as it applies to everyone. I do not like a situation where one class gets something that another class doesn't. And right now, for us, for taxes, a lot of times that happens with the ultra rich, and they're not even forget the tax havens. Some of them are not even doing anything illegal. They're like, I'm following the law.
Most of them aren't.
Yeah.
Most, not all. But a question. Go ahead.
They asked to define the ultra rich, and
I missed that.
Obviously, he looked into it. We're talking about 35 to 40 families that are like billionaires, in Canada. You're not going to save the country with 35 families. You know what I mean?
I mean,
families.
Yeah. No.
It doesn't make any sense.
But you know what? At least, even though it's a dumb idea, at least he's thinking outside the box.
But he knows that the public sentiment, for some reason,
they think it's the rich people's fault.
When Bezos went to space, he went from this American dream story to fuck that guy, he's a supervillain.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he does look like a supervillain.
Yes, 100% he looks.
He also went to space.
You wanted to say something, and I'm kind of curious as to what
I just like what Blankers wrote in the chat.
Tell me what he wrote.
It's up top at 10:30. He goes, the irony of the abortion debate being about self-autonomy while pushing for forced vaccinations.
Oh, that is true.
It is ironic.
It's like, I'm scared of this guy who hasn't said anything about forcing people, but I got to vote for this guy who's clearly mandating what to do with someone's body. He's not going to tell people what to do with their body. He's already doing it.
They're just playing to their electorate.
Yeah.
Right now, that
the whole
woke
point, right?
sentiment.
That's the whole point.
The only thing that's important right now to most of the people who are going to vote NDP or liberals, because they're short-sighted in my opinion, and disagree with me if you want. This is my opinion. All they care about is virtue signaling. Not all. The main thing they care about is virtue signaling to show that they're better than the other. than the people who oppose them. Then there's the environment and climate crisis. Fine, sure, that's important. No parties, aside from the Green Party.
I'm better than anyone that works at CJD.
They're not.
That's basically it.
The gloves are off. Come for us.
Fucking tools.
Come for us. I thought we discussed this last night. We're not going to start beefs on the air.
It's not a beef, bro. I fucking already mopped the floor with these bitches.
It's like a half a quarter pounder.
Yeah.
It's like,
What are they going to say? Fuck those dudes, but they're not allowed to call in because they're going to hurt our feelings. What are they going to say, bro? Fuck these
Spiro, bro, what are you doing, Spiro, in the chat? Look, he's fucking doing to you. He's ruining you.
He's attacking me?
Spiro.
I'm not looking at the chat.
He's being a fucking
Spiro,
narc. He's being a narc.
Spiro better not be.
So yeah, my point is none of them have any real solutions for the climate change because we're all talking about carbon tax and nonsense and
that's
none
all
of that's
miscellaneous 200K, miscellaneous 199.
we must all have the same accountant. The issue with like the climate crisis, for example, that no one has a straight answer for, it's because nothing that we're doing makes a difference. What we should be doing is like, okay, we clearly need to go and talk to China and India and be like, hey, can you stop wrecking the planet? For the most part, it's you guys.
I have something to interject here.
To make our own things.
Yes, I think we spoke about this a few days ago. I don't know if we spoke about it on a podcast or not, but this whole China-India debate, everybody loves blaming them, myself included. However, I will say one thing. The blame is to be put on our imbecilic leaders and also us as imbecilic voters. Voters, I'll tell you why. Because you know what they say? So this is the real truth about what's happening. So Trudeau, fucking whoever you want, Trump, Biden. Well, Trump didn't make any promises.
Send Jorge Rosales to the gulag right now.
Why would he say?
He deserves it.
I don't. Anyways, he's in charge of the gulag. So what they'll say is, for example, and George could verify this. We have made a climate agreement. We must reduce our carbon emission by X amount by X year, right?
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they will move their factories.
Oh yeah, we're talking about it in the studio, not on a podcast.
They'll move their factories to India and then be like, look, guys,
we're neutral.
no longer. But the emissions you were doing in your country, you just moved it to another country, so the emissions are still happening. They're just not happening on your soil. So you haven't reduced dick, you stupid, silly bitches, and us like idiots.
You just offshored it.
Yeah, with us like idiots, we're like, this is amazing, guys. Yeah. We're so dumb.
It's exactly what's happening,
we're
and
so
it's
stupid.
It's not only on a corporate level like your industries. You can look at it from a very simple thing like garbage. Like we've started exporting trash like garbage.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Send it out, and
yeah, it's crazy.
We insulted the Philippines last year by doing that.
Have you seen all those garbage islands that float around? Have you ever seen those? They're crazy.
Sad.
Fucking nuts. No, but George, for example,
you're just moving the problem somewhere else, and you're kind of pointing your finger. There was very little solution proposed on the environment. Everyone is pretty much different. Everyone has new targets, different targets. I mean, Anime Paul coming out 60% reduction is kind of a fairy tale. I mean, I don't even know how you can achieve it. But she was making a good point when she was saying that, listen, we can do it because bigger countries have done it. Like she mentioned the agreement that the EU passed.
Yeah, we can export all our stuff to somewhere else too.
Yeah, of course.
So no, but her point was, listen, if the bigger countries are doing it, if all the European countries agreed to have a plan that is ambitious, then why can't Canada? But if I don't know, man, it's too little, too late. Nobody's really paying attention to the Greens. And like I said, I have a feeling that they're going to do much worse this election than they did the last ones. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. Look, this is the final stretch. This is where things get interesting. And I was just talking before with someone for a podcast, and he's an analyst, and he's like, listen, normally the waves happen in 1 point increments. Like if you're riding a wave, you're adding 1 point a day. That's what it is. So there's still 10 days left in the campaign. Let's see what happens. If everything swings towards the conservatives, we can very well see a conservative majority. If it splits down the middle like it seems to be doing since the first debate where Justin Trudeau kind of stabilized everything, then it's going to be a battle to the end. Yeah. And keep one thing in mind, guys. A minority government is a defeat for the Liberals. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is, because the guy wanted a clear mandate. His goal for launching this campaign was to get a majority government. Him getting another minority government is going to look bad on him big time.
Well, look, there was one thing that O'Toole said that I missed, but then they told me that he said it, which is true. And you just reiterated it without saying it directly. the reason why this election is happening now amidst a pandemic is selfish. It is 100% egotistical. If you're telling everyone,
destroyed him on that.
Yeah, because if you're telling everyone you
point.
can't go see your relatives, it's super dangerous outside. Unvaccinated are a danger for the vaccine. All that shit. But now it's like you'll go out and vote, and also you're not allowed to visit your relatives in old folks' homes. Your parents, you can't go there. But he went with his entire team to an old folks' home for a photo op. So you haven't been able to see your mom for fucking 6 months, but this guy could stroll in there with his fucking crew and take photos. It's nonsense.
Those were huge points won by O'Toole at the very beginning too, like where he criticized him on leadership, and he's like, leadership is standing together for all of Quebecers, not serving your self-interests, like running a campaign in the middle of a pandemic. No, he was good. O'Toole was very, very good. I found him. I don't know. We'll see how that reflects in the numbers.
How come I never heard of O'Toole before he became, I guess, in charge of the Conservatives, and his name seems
because
ridiculous?
you just don't follow politics that much.
True.
He was a
I'll
minister
allow
under
That's a good.
Stephen Harper.
That was a quick answer. George, when are you gonna run again? Are you
George,
gonna run again?
but is this guy known as a? How do you in politics? Is he known as like a good dude? Like he'll keep his word and he's sincere.
Look, he is the more left. It's difficult to where's the word left with conservatives, but he's the centrist.
He's a progressive conservative.
Yeah,
he's the centrist branch of the party.
I love the center.
He's bringing the party more to the center. He's trying to put those those social conservatives kind of behind him. It wouldn't surprise me if he does win that we see a major transformation in the Conservative Party, that those guys out west are kind of in the dark. Like he's gonna throw them in the back in the back benches.
Look, man, I think the future is the center. I think the future is a sensible center of, this is good. This is a leftist policy, but it's good. This is a more right conservative policy. This is good.
He said it. Look, his goal in the debate yesterday was to define, because there's a lot of people like you. Who the hell is this guy? We've never heard of him before. For the people that don't really follow, that don't know him, his goal was, let me tell you who I am. And he did it from the very beginning. He's like, look, I'm pro-choice. I said from the beginning, I'm in favor of gay rights. He said it that
But how many rights though? How many rights are these gays gonna have?
Yeah, no, but he said it and he found a way in one
69.
short sentence in 45 minutes to really point out everything that he wanted to say to describe who he is. Pro-choice, in favor of LGBTQ community.
LGBTQ plus 2.
Well, yeah,
it's different now.
That was the culture that he adopted when he was in the armed forces, serving with people from all diverse backgrounds, serving Canadians free.
He was a soldier. Yeah, he was a solder. I like this kind of stuff, but you know what? We should stop this. I guess we can't.
He brought out there was a meme circulating when there was the whole blackface thing, and he tweets out a photo. He's like, what I was doing when I was 20, and he's like in a helicopter fucking with a machine gun, whatever, serving Canada, and what Justin Trudeau's doing in his 20s, and he has blackface on, dressed like fucking Caesar or whatever. I don't even know who.
It's
it was the funniest shit ever.
He's right about. Look, he's garnering support more and more from me, especially considering who the fuck his opposition is. But yesterday, I cannot stress the fact that Yves Blanc, if we're being objective, it was he won.
Francophone. But I remember him doing the same thing in 2019. He really stood out in the English debate as well. There's this confidence about him that really pops out.
I just appreciate answering directly. I appreciate no pussyfooting around. When they ask him what would you do to run Canada, he's like, I'm not interested in running Canada. I'm interested in Quebec. He could have done what Jagmeet did. Jagmeet knows he's not going to win. Jagmeet knows he's not going to run Canada. But
I don't think Jagmeet knows
Jagmeet's like, well, what I'm going to do is, it's like, bro, just be realistic. Be realistic.
I think the NDP think they could win.
I feel like Jagmeet Singh is too happy for the situation that he's in, and I don't know if any of you saw the post-debate interviews.
No, I did not. What happened there?
Yeah, they take turns to address the media, and they're showing him coming to the podium, and he's all skippity hoppity, like he's coming down, like
He was doing a TikTok, man.
People have no money. The grocery bills are high. Yeah, communism.
shouldn't be happy. You're not doing well. You should not be happy. Stop trying to give out that image. The same thing goes in 2019 when he lost most of his candidates in Quebec. He did worse than the previous thing, and he comes after.
But Christine is wrong too about what she just said. To vote for a dude who doesn't represent his party's views, he does represent his party's views. That's how he won the party nomination, because he's more in line with what the majority of them want moving forward than anyone else. You're trying to create a scenario in order to justify you voting against your best interests, so you can continue joining the cult, the club that you're like, we just keep voting for the same guy because that's what I'm told. Don't. Go with logic. Forget forcibly creating something. Don't vote against your interests based on some kind of hypothetical.
So, and also she wrote, hold on, George. She wrote in the chat that most of the party doesn't believe climate change, which is not real. I pulled up an article now. It's not that they don't believe it. It's that they don't want to add, they don't understand some of like the stuff like for innovation, green technologies. They don't believe in that stuff.
But there's a lot of people, scientific people, left people too, that feel the exact same way, which is why uranium now is making a comeback. Basically, what they're saying is green energy, for example, electric cars. There was a big push. The future is electric cars. We all have to get these batteries.
For the environment.
And then after they rolled out, we're like, this is gonna fuck up the environment, because it was not on purpose.
Super dangerous.
It was not done on purpose, though people thought this was moving forward.
Oh yeah, of course.
Same thing with nuclear. My entire life, nuclear was the enemy. Yeah. Nuclear was dangerous, and then now moving forward, it looks like, and that's why uranium is going up. No, it looks like the future's gonna be uranium. The future's gonna be nuclear.
I'm not saying it won't be, but it still represents a massive inherent danger.
Human error represents a danger in nuclear.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be involved in it.
That's not the way it works. If you everybody who does things right by the book, it is not dangerous. It's like you with a dryer and a fucking toaster and everything is dangerous if it's misused.
Yeah, but me with a dryer and a fucking toaster is gonna hurt me and maybe the apartment I'm living in. Not a fucking massive Chernobyl-sized hole in the ground.
But it won't do another Chernobyl-sized hole if we follow the procedures.
Don't speak in absolutes about something that we really don't know.
I literally said...
You just said it's not.
If. The word right after not is if. How is that an absolute? It's not if. If we follow these procedures, it's not. Absolute will be is it's not. That's an absolute.
Fair. And another thing, if the party didn't believe in climate change, why would they have a plan on their website for a more greener economy?
Bro, it's easier to say that kind of stuff. They don't believe in this. They want to stop abortion, even though they're not saying that, because it's easier to create that enemy. Just like Yves Blanchette. No. He's a racist. He hates everyone, this and that. The guy didn't say anything inherently racist or anything. He just went against some of the stuff that Jagmeet was saying. So right away, Jagmeet had said, you're a fucking racist. No. And then it started from there. It's these absolutes that are the fucking problem.
Yeah. So all in all, Christine is wrong once
again.
But
it's not that she's... But here's the thing. It's not that she's wrong. It's... She wants to. This is the guy that she believes in. She wants to believe in him. She's having trouble.
Who does she believe in?
Pulling back. I guess Trudeau in this case. It's it's more of a what do I do? I'm fearing for what if this guy's wrong too? What if I get that fear because me too. I have a very big issue trusting politicians. Yeah. So I'm going with the platform and what we need as a country. If the Conservatives win and they follow what they're saying they're going to follow. This is great for Canada, right?
Yeah.
The problem I have with the Liberals, they just released now, what is it, this half-assed fucking mandate that they have. Even if they follow through what they're saying, that's not good for Canada. So that's where I'm leaning towards.
And also, she's upset because they rejected adding green-friendly statements to the book, including a line that could have started the party believes climate change is real.
What is that? They didn't do a green-friendly statement for you. The other guy wore blackface. How much of a statement is that? Come on.
Thank you.
Come on, man. This is nuts, bro.
No, but
I blocked Phil. I completely blocked Phil before.
Oh yeah, sorry, you were gonna say something.
I have no memory of it.
We'll get back to Phil.
I was just thinking of how we let Christine take us down these rabbit holes, but she's never showed us any credentials. I thought she was a journalist. She lied.
I'll tell you why it's valid, because Christine is not like a psychopath who believes something that is just her and no one else believes it. If Christine has some thoughts, or if anybody in the chat has certain thoughts, it's fair to assume that other people have the same thoughts, right? So I'm just examining and trying to have a dialogue and see where does it come from. And then when she asks questions like, well, what about this? And then he pulls up the thing. That's important. That's what dialogue is. Or else it would have been like, fuck you, Christine, I don't want to hear. You know, that's not going to help.
That's what the gulag's.
Yeah, but the gulag is to fuck around. But that's not going to help. It's much better.
No, but at this point, it doesn't really
Because she brings
matter.
up a point that a lot of people have, and she brings up a point that even me, I have trouble believing politicians. So I can't tell her. I can't tell her you're wrong because I too.
But here's the
have
thing:
that same fear.
This election is actually really easy to decide. If you're in Quebec and you're French Canadian and you care more about Quebec's interests being represented than anything else, then you vote for the Bloc, right?
Yeah.
If you're not an idiot, then you don't vote for the Green Party or the Orange Party because they're not real parties and they can't run the country. We know this for sure, especially with Jagmeet leading the party.
Yeah.
So it comes down to liberal or conservative.
Yeah, and right now, if you have a job and
Trudeau's
you work,
clearly fucking, he's lost his mind. He's gone full blown.
if you pay taxes, if you have a job and you work and you want to go out there, you don't have a savings account, right now, as it stands, it would just be the conservatives.
Don't even get that complex. If you don't want to live under the reign of Idi Amin Trudeau, you fucking elect the conservatives because we need a switch. If you really hate the fucking conservatives and you think Trudeau's doing a good job, then you're dumb and you shouldn't vote, period.
Then you're part of that elite 55 families. You're part of that.
We're having these long debates about policy, but really, 2/3 of the parties can't run the country. 2 of them maybe could. One's doing a shitty job. The other one, let's see what happens. It's a coin toss. Just fucking toss the coin.
They're doing more than a shitty job, bro. It's fucking.
It's not even that to do.
But in his defense,
we're in uncharted water.
But
we're
in
in
his
a pandemic, and Trudeau has gotten way too aggressive. With the citizenry of Canada. When you speak out again, when you come out and you're like, "Fuck you," the people that I serve, I'm in charge. You need to get the fuck.
That's not a democracy.
He needs to be in a black fucking helicopter, leaving in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And also,
you know what? I'm with you, Phil.
For him.
We were in uncharted.
You know what? I'm with this dumb commie fuck for this one. I'm with him because you cannot, in a democracy, you cannot act like that. You have to remember who's in charge, and the people. You know who's in charge? In charge are the people who are voting. That's who's in charge of this type of country. It's a democracy. Just like even François Blanchet said it. He goes, "Look, I'm not, what you said, George. I'm not bringing up but I'm not bringing up a referendum because that's not in the interest of my people. And even though I want that, I have to serve them. That's what a real politician does."
Also, the uncharted waters comment. We were in our uncharted waters.
We still are. Now we're in opposed.
Not really, because now we know what this is.
Yeah, we do know what this is. Yeah,
you know
we know
what
the virus is.
Beginning for let's say for the first year even.
I was scared.
For the first year, 100% we were in uncharted waters.
And the bearded man tried his best.
The bearded man?
But he also did not... No, he was bearded, Trudeau, at the time. But also Trudeau did not have... Remember, Trudeau entered the pandemic with not having an elite team because he didn't choose his cabinet based on qualifications. He chose it on woke points. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that
he went into an NBA Finals. He went into an NBA Finals.
I'll take one black guy.
He had the Harlem Globetrotters. And, fucking LeBron James was dunking with his dick on them because he's like, yo, how are you going to face LeBron James, the Harlem Globetrotters? They're fun to look at, but you need the best of the best. So he fucked himself. Obviously, he didn't know there was going to be a pandemic, but he said, I'm not going to go on competency. I'm going to go on wokeness. And then he started firing the women around him because they were actually smart and asking real questions. And then he got upset. He's like, what?
I just want to, Colonel Kronk says the PPC, in my opinion, as much as I like what a lot of their policies are, and I like a lot of their candidates.
Yes, however,
I cannot, in good conscience, as a responsible citizen, vote for Maxime Bernier
because they're not going to win.
They're not going to win. First of all, our system is not built for them to be allowed to do my vote. I'm throwing my vote.
You're throwing a vote. Look, if Maxime Bernier does show up, he's supposed to come today if he wants to do an interview. If he does show up, I'm going to ask him all these questions. I'm also going to ask him about that file that he forgot because that seems interesting. But I'm going to ask him all these questions, and also I'm going to get to the bottom of I gotta know if there has to be personal issues between him and some of the party leaders because the way they talk about him and they dismiss him, it's more than it's a fringe party. It's like fuck this guy, something happened. So I want to know more about that. That's the other thing is again, it's great on paper.
Of course, something happened. He was in the Conservatives, he was in the leadership race. He got screwed over. He lost it. And then he told everyone to go fuck himself.
And he's like, fuck this shit, I'm going to make my own party with blackjack and hookers.
He pulled a Ted Bird. He's like, fuck you. Yeah. I like that.
No, but to play into Christine's argument about the environment, the Conservatives have, let's say, the least good plan. based on perceptions again, right? Because you have the Greens are like, oh, we want to decrease them by 60%.
That's
NDP
not real.
says we want to decrease it by 50. Liberals say 45, and the only one that says 30 is Aaron O'Toole, but he's being criticized. But he found an interesting way to play into that argument, saying that, listen, we want to reach targets, so let's set a
reasonable target.
Let's set targets that are reachable. The 30% is what Justin Trudeau himself signed in Paris. So we're not going against him. We're actually in favor of what he's doing. But this time we're going to reach these targets. And that's why he kept banging on Trudeau, saying, listen, you haven't reached one target, nothing, zero. You have no targets, zero. Yeah. You have the biggest increase in gas emissions in the G7. So you have zero credibility to talk on environment. So he has a point.
And why is the government spending so much on shoe polish? What kind of parties are you having?
Putting on his okay, guys, quick meeting in the cabinet. Yeah. What's up, Justin? We're putting on our war faces. So whoa. You can't. No, guys, no. It's like football. It's like, yeah, maybe no.
Still too much for you.
Too much. He's like, but in football they do it like this. He's like, no. Like fucking Arnold and the Predator.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta go. But before I go, I'll leave you with something else that you can talk about.
All right. So before George goes, I'm gonna go pee.
Oh, he's gonna go pee. Tell us, George.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll wait for Phil to get back. Yesterday, and we're gonna just shift a little bit from the federal debate there. Yesterday, there's an article that came out, and we spoke. And the reason I'm talking about this now is because we spoke about it on Wednesday with respect to the health system and basically the trouble that we have over here. Well, Legault came out basically and said that as of the 15th of October, everyone working in the health industry, the health department, needs to be vaccinated, or else they will get sanctioned or pretty much stay home without pay.
Absurd.
And everyone's wondering, you're going to kill the health system at a time where there's a fourth wave coming in, and we'll need the support. So, and I think they understand it. So yesterday, the health minister came out, and he's pleading now with the health unions to not leave. It's
like, completely insane.
Choose what you want to do, buddy.
First of all, just the fact I said this on another podcast.
You get vaccinated or you're out, and then come out 2-3 days later and saying, guys, please don't leave. We need you.
It's also disgusting, George.
Middle ground where everyone is happy here, man.
George, it is disgusting to me that the frontline workers that risk their lives, that we said are heroes for so long, it is disgusting to me that those same people, now you're saying, if you don't comply, find another way to put food on the table. That's disgusting behavior, bro.
Everyone has been saying it ever since when was it? 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, when all the health unions were in a parliamentary committee discussing this whole approach on getting them vaccinated. Everyone was against it. Nobody's on the same page. Finally, they made a decision to force everyone to get vaccinated. And now, when they realize the potential danger,
if Jagmeet Singh is outside, though, bring him in. I don't mind.
No, he's not. I heard. There's a lot of ruckus happening at the NDP office. Like, it's full.
The funniest thing would be if Jagmeet Singh makes a surprise appearance on the morning show.
I don't think during a campaign season they're allowed to just show up places like that publicly.
Yeah, they could do whatever they want.
They could do whatever they want, yeah.
No, it's still a free country.
But yeah, so now he comes out yesterday and he's like, listen, guys, please, we need you. Don't leave, because there's a bunch of nurses. I think there's 3 or 4 nurses. I can't remember in which hospital that quit. Probably as a result of with the government forcing them to get vaccinated. I don't know what the reason is, but the main point that we should be focusing on is that we're already understaffed. We don't want our hospitals to be screwed over, especially if we're headed into a fourth wave that could be potentially damaging. So you have the health minister that is coming out now and saying, guys, please stay, don't leave. By the way, I know we forced you to get vaccinated and that you can get sanctioned, but you know what? We still need you. Figure out what you fucking want. Make the right decision for these people, and keep our health system floating.
Look, the right decision is let them, especially healthcare workers, make the decision for themselves. These doctors, these nurses who are in it, who have been in it for 2 years, have various reasons not to want or to want, and especially the ones that caught COVID and went past it, we now have the scientific evidence to show that they are more protected, 17 times more protected than people who haven't got anything and got 2 doses. So their human rights are with them. Hold on. And scientifically, the science also backs them if they choose not to. So I do not see a reason why we should attack these people who, when we didn't know what this virus was, we didn't know, risked everything to be on the front line. They risked everything to be on the front line. We should not be demonizing these people now and turning them into the enemy because it's fun to politicize and create an enemy. And now the enemy is the unvaxxed employee of the government. Fuck that shit.
What was that?
Poseidon's fucking around.
Oh, no, sorry.
Was that a sound effect? Or
No, he's...
okay.
What are you doing?
Oh, don't worry. I pressed something by mistake.
We worry. George, you're free to go if you want.
Yeah, I'm out of here, guys.
Thank you, G.
Go make that paper, boy.
Play him out. Play him out. George Shan Jesus, who just dropped a new backstage podcast
During the morning show.
Very smart move by this guy. Also, I have a new Pantelis podcast that dropped with Frank Cavallaro, beloved local weatherman, broadcaster, and now political candidate for the Conservatives
bringing the
in the
rain.
town of Montreal. So check out George's podcast, the Backstage Podcast, and Just Us Dads, which is heating up. Just Us Dads is having their own weight loss competition.
What did you say it's doing? It's what? It's eating up?
It's heating up.
Oh, I thought they were eating
They're going to be eating up soon. But they're having a weight loss competition. Cast your votes on that show. Check it out. Watch it. See who you think is the fattest and who you think is going to lose most weight. Join in. They're having a lot of fun. George is not just a great guy to have around. He's also just a good dude all around. So support his podcast. Links are in the description. George, the mouth of the South, thank you very much.
Bye, Georgie.
Take care, boys. Ciao.
Later, brother.
Later, man.
Dun, 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 dun. He played us out too quick, this guy. I like that. I would have liked the music.
It's still going.
But now bring it back up. Yeah.
Should we have a dance party?
Friday.
Take your pants off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like what they're doing to the
Not
poor.
you.
The nurses, especially the doctors too, but the nurses too. Just to be like, fuck you, because you're gonna coerce them, and then if somebody does.
So here's the thing: if you're gonna publicly come out and say I'm just use this as an example. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just the vaccines are safe because these doctors say it is, right?
Yeah.
They're doctors, so we're assuming they're specialists in
No,
their field.
doctors need to shut the fuck up about the vaccines.
Let me get to my point, right? But publicly, they're like, well, these doctors say it's safe.
Yeah.
But they're not immunologists or epidemiologists. I mean, some of them are epidemiologists, but they're not vaccine people.
Yeah.
They're not running studies. They're just doctors. So they're using what they think is the best course of action to move forward.
Yeah.
Then you have a bunch of other doctors, same ages, same. This is not safe. You can't just say, oh, they're evil.
Yeah.
Like you can't just pick. And I realized the more we talk about it, like especially last night we got into like a random conversation. By the way, you ruined my night last night. We were talking on the phone about the vaccines. We'll talk about it on the morning show.
Yeah.
I had made myself a snack, and then I ate it while I was talking to you, and it ruined my snack.
You called me.
I know. I'm just saying. I didn't say you. I said we.
Yeah. Oh, because
You ruined my snack,
They're
is
gonna
what I'm
start
saying.
forcing 6-year-olds to get vaccinated.
So they're saying by the beginning of 2022, 6 to 12 age group. This is from Santé Publique to the school boards. I got it 1 degree of separation from Santé Publique, this information. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, we're only a year and a half, not even, we're only like 9 or 10 months into using this vaccine. We're already, you can not play us out anymore, by the way.
That's beautiful, though. I love it that he kept it. I love
You
it.
just forgot it.
It's okay.
Oh, I didn't forget it.
He did forget it, but it's fine. This is the one forgetful thing I'm down for. I liked it.
Yeah?
I like the little music. Dun, 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 dun,
I don't
dun.
know how I feel about the
I
music.
feel
all
like
the
I'm
time.
in the beach with Jamaica.
This was Jamaica making with Jails.
Yeah, so
We're 10 months into using these on a mass scale.
Yeah.
And we're already talking about giving them to kids. And then I realized I was in a parents committee meeting yesterday for the first time because my kids started school. And they were like, it came up a lot, the kids getting vaccinated. And a lot of people were like, oh, finally. I was like, huh? Like, look, I'm not anti the vaccine. I have both doses. That's right. I finally got my second dose, by the way. I finally.
But you don't feel any weird.
I felt a little run down the first 2-3 days, but I feel fine now. I mean, completely normal.
Bro, literally Poseidon, who was a little nervous about feeling shit. Bro, Poseidon didn't feel anything from the prick to muscle. Poseidon, it's like nothing. The guy is a goddamn. He's a bull. It's the same thing like when they take out bull semen. He just went right through it. There's nothing. They could have put bleach in him. He wouldn't have noticed.
I mean, well, it's his first dose. We'll talk after he gets the second dose because most people who have nothing on the
Poseidon got his third shot. That was his booster.
No, but what was my point? Now you threw me.
Oh, just the parents committee. How people were consumed by fear.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people were like really looking forward to it, and for me, I'm like, I don't know. Like for me, I got the shots. It was my decision because I did it before things were starting to get mandated. Like I made a decision and I got them, right? I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. But even if there are long-term consequences for me, I mean, like I make dumber decisions daily.
You don't have that much long anyway. You don't have that much long.
How much longer do I have? I mean, I have 2 kids. I make bad food choices. It's not like I drink, but like I smoke. Like I do all these dumb things anyways. Why would this clearly has potential benefit that I want to take advantage of. But my kids who are like still developing and I agree. Brains, like I don't know what this is going to do to them.
Dude, I'll tell you where I stand.
And I don't know if I should be more scared. Like the idea is, what are you more scared of, COVID or the shot, right? That's the decision you need to make when you get the vaccine. But I haven't seen overwhelming evidence to make me very frightened for my kids. Look, I'm scared that my kids will get COVID. I am. I don't want them to get COVID. I mean, the school shut down the 2nd grade class. They're quarantining it. They already had an outbreak.
Yeah, but again, they had an outbreak. I don't know if the
kids are sick.
But they had an outbreak, but are the kids, because I remember my nephew having outbreaks too in the school. Are the kids ill? Are they dying? That's what I care about. Because if what they're saying is the kids were the safest out of everyone. Like, yeah, they're getting a fucking flu. So if the safest...
Not even sometimes.
Not even. That's what I'm saying. If the safest demographic is now being forced to take experimental shit that the rest of us were coerced into taking... I'm not for that. I'm not for forcing it on people who are not at risk. I am not for the passports. There's a lot that I'm not for. I think adults can make their own fucking decision. I do not like adults being forced, coerced either. They should make their own decisions based on what they think is safer for them. So if you think that you're safer with 2 doses, or if you think that you're safer getting it, like look at, for example, look at Rogan. Look at Rogan, for example. Rogan's a good example because people wanted him to die last week. A lot of people on the left were not happy that it took them 2 days to get rid of. But what CNN had one of their paid doctors go on when Rogan first announced ivermectin and Z-Pack, everything he was taking, and he goes, "That's not going to work. You shouldn't do that." And then that's what worked. He got rid of COVID in 2 days. And instead of being like, well, why did we say it doesn't work? Oh, yeah, because we're pushing this narrative where this is the only way to stay safe. So they're saying the only way to stay safe is to take the 2 doses that do not keep you from catching it or spreading it. That's the best way, they say, instead of ways that have been clinically proven now. People have been taking... New Jersey is pushing ivermectin on people.
Rogan said something which I found interesting. Because it was with Segura, right? They were having that conversation. And he hypothesized, like he didn't say this was happening, but he's like, maybe. The fact that ivermectin could potentially... I mean, I don't know. I haven't done any research into the science. And even if I did, what the fuck do I know? I'm a dummy.
Yeah.
He said maybe they're not allowing... it to be declared a treatment, because then the vaccines couldn't have this emergency use enactment. Because if you have a treatment for something, you can't just...
Yeah, but I've been hearing that for a while.
And it made me think. I don't know if that's true. It's an interesting hypothesis. This whole horse dewormer thing, I mean, again, I don't know if ivermectin works, but I know that people, for the most part, the ones who are saying, I took this and I got better, they're not going out and buying horse dewormer. So, like, all of you who are sharing these, like... You're not a farm animal. Like
they're so stupid.
You're so deep in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you're in the cult.
You're so far down the rabbit hole, you can't even see light anymore.
Yeah.
If you're sharing that and you think you're being smart, you are one of the stupidest human beings.
And also, I'll tell you one thing: if it was proven right now that you can get COVID, and dog medication, dog medication would cure you of it, I would take the dog medication. I mean, it's not, he didn't take horse dewormer, but I'm saying is even if he did take horse dewormer, it was for horses, he went into a farm, a selling place, and that's what cured him. Why would I be mad at the guy? Wouldn't
if it
you?
Works, it works.
Yeah, wouldn't you in danger take what helps? It doesn't make any sense to me. So anyways, so we've seen treatments now that work, but especially, it's not even that, especially the monoclonal antibody treatment. That's what I think is making a difference for all these people.
I think no one's really arguing that that's working.
Yeah, that's working. And yet, again, they're like, no, the only way to stay safe is to get these shots. And now the other thing that pisses me off is the narrative of the unvaccinated are a danger to the vaccinated. Guys, that doesn't make sense. Then why would you get vaccinated? You're not making people want to get vaccinated. If that's your goal, you're doing the opposite. Because that just scares, like, wait a second.
You're just pissing people
off. So
I'm
more vulnerable if I do get vaccinated. The fuck are you guys talking about?
So I made a decision for my own safety, but now, even though that decision was proven to be safer, I'm at more risk because these guys didn't do what I did. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no way I can wrap my head around that. I can understand that when they say stuff like the unvaccinated are clogging up the ERs. If I'm not saying
if that's true.
If that was the case, then yeah, I get it.
But they also lied. CNN said the other day that, and Rolling Stone ran with a fake article that in Ohio there was a hospital that they couldn't handle emergencies because they had so many people in beds there because they overdosed on a horse dewormer. And then they find out not only is that not true, it was completely false. It was proven false before CNN decided to share it also, and CNN still decided to share it. They're just blatantly bullshitting you.
That's fucking nuts.
It's insane. It's insane.
But what is it? 2/3 of the U.S. workforce has now been mandated by Joe Biden.
Oh, which is going to cause, dude, states
the
are
US
already
going to kill everything.
Red states are already talking about secession. It's like, all right, well then, if that's the way it's going to go, then that's a different country than the one that we have. So
you know
we
what's
should
really
just separate.
strange to me? Like historically, vaccines have been mandated before, right?
Yeah.
But the disease in question, we were talking about this yesterday,
Was worse than the
was like.
Yeah.
Like crazy bad and obviously bad. Like you didn't need statistics to know it was terrible because people were dying all around.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the case now. And also they have treatments, but what's weird about the States is that Kamal, dude, it feels like you're watching a movie that was written by a terrible writer. Because yesterday, as he says, you're gonna do what the fuck I say, basically. And people are like, I don't want you to put something in my body. Kamala Harris comes out and goes, they're not letting people get abortions in Texas. This is bullshit. It's a woman's right to choose. You can choose what you do with your own body. The government should never choose. You said this an hour after the president said, no, I'll choose what goes into your body. They're not even coordinating their speeches anymore. It doesn't make any sense.
I've noticed that that's a common go-to talking point for anyone who disagrees with mandating vaccines. Yeah. And that the opposite side, the argumentative side to that statement is always the same. It's always the abortion. It's not the same.
It is the same. It's even crazier because I saw something yesterday. They go, it's even crazier because they go abortion. Normally, if you're getting they're talking about like late term abortions. Mm-hmm. They're not. What is it? Now they don't want to do it if the baby has a heartbeat. But if it has a heartbeat is when they're like, no, you should still get an abortion. So if you're making the decision for the baby who already has a heartbeat, now you're making a decision as a mom on someone else's body. It even goes deeper, they were saying. So what it should be is if it's your body, your choice, it should be like that for everyone. So you can't tell a woman you can't have an abortion, but you have to take this. It's like, no, if I can't get an abortion, then you can't fucking tell me to
my only
put some
issue
shit
with that
inside
argument is that it goes against one of my most commonly said things, which
everybody
is
should be aborted.
Which is that we should look at everything not generally, but in context and case by case.
Agreed.
So that line of thinking to me, I can't make that argument, even though I kind of agree with it. Not the abortion argument, but the thing that the two things are related.
The two things are related. You can't force, especially when they have. There's treatments. If you get sick now, there's statistics telling you that 99% you can't force people.
I'm not taking COVID specifically. I just mean the idea that they could mandate you to do something.
I don't like that because it's a slippery slope. Like we said, slippery slope. We said it last year.
I need to trust a bunch of people who constantly lie to me and companies who, like that whole thing with the Pfizer CEO, the new CEO. He was in the FDA.
A new CEO.
He was, or not CEO, he's higher up. Can you look it up? Right, FDA, board of directors, Pfizer.
Oh, but they're all intermingled. It's all incestuous. All these companies.
Like the second the FDA got approval, he jumped from the FDA to Pfizer.
Yeah, I know, but always.
It's so suspicious.
By the way, it got approval, but it's I don't know why they announced it like it's full. It's not full approval. It's still in. It was some kind of temporary status. It's still in clinical trials until 2023 or 2025, and we're the clinical trial.
Yeah. Now we're in, of course.
Yeah, we're the clinic. We're the guinea. So just remember that.
Also, Christine said something again in the chat that really pissed me off.
Oh God, is it against your mom?
No. 6 weeks isn't even a heartbeat. There's no biological heart at 6 weeks. Quick Google search, and this is Google.
Yeah.
When does a baby have a heartbeat? A baby's heartbeat can be detected by transvaginal ultrasound as early as 3 to 4 weeks after conception, or 5 to 6 weeks after the first day of the last menstrual period. This early embryonic heartbeat is fast, often about 160 to 180 beats per minute. Yeah. Twice as fast as adults.
So we like science when we want to. We don't like science when we don't.
I mean,
again,
shut up. You know what I've noticed? I've never met, and I'm sure they exist, but I have never met a woman who is, let's say, the same position in this ideological debate as Christine, who has kids. It's always women who don't have kids.
Yeah, you know what's fucking interesting about that is I for some reason I had this
I'm not saying they don't exist.
When I was younger, I had this idea that like every woman is pro-abortion, and it was actually a nurse that changed my mind because I thought, but you know what? Because you're calling Christine an idiot, but I kind of thought the same thing for the longest time because that's what I was told. So I thought like it's not really a baby till like right before it gets born. I thought the exact same thing as Christine for the longest time. It was a nurse who told me that she changed her stance when. Anyways, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. When she described what she saw, she's like, yeah, it's a tiny baby. And she goes, and that changed my whole fucking perception of things. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know about that stuff. Again, it's not my choice to tell people what the fuck to do. But I will say one thing about the states that outlaw abortion completely. You should also not be the same states that don't give condoms and don't do sex education in classrooms, because to me that does not make sense. If you're going to mandate that there's no abortion possible, no matter what, no rape, no, the baby's going to be fucked up, it could kill the mom. If you're going to tell me there's none of that, then at least in high schools, educate them properly, give out condoms because these kids are going to be banging, make plan B available. Like, basically, don't set everything up so these kids get fucked over.
Yeah, but I still think 6 weeks is too early for in Texas they said 6 weeks maximum. Past the 6 weeks,
I don't know what they said. I'm just saying if you're gonna say anything about that, make sure you're giving people the tools. You get what I'm saying?
100%, and I agree with you. And there should be a balance. It should not be both extremes.
It should never be both extremes. Because what if a girl
or fucking
what if a girl gets raped and she's under a lot of stress, doesn't realize she's pregnant until you know what I mean? Yeah. There's all kinds of. That's why what he said is actually the smartest. Is it should be nuanced. It should be case by case.
100%.
There's a lot of different stuff. Because right now, you know what they're trying to say. When they envelop it, they're trying to say basically like, oh, well, what kind of woman doesn't know she's pregnant until 3 months in or 4 months in? Bro, everything is different, bro. There's case by case. It's not everyone.
Sorry, I can't sit by here anymore.
I'm not reading the chat.
Okay, first of all, Christine, you are beyond wrong.
About what? What happened?
You were beyond wrong about the heart. I just checked.
Oh, the heart
doesn't just magically appear at 6 weeks. The idea that you can, and this is not an abortion debate. I'm not arguing abortion in any way, shape, or form right now. I'm just saying the heart starts to develop really early. It's fully developed at 8 weeks. I don't know why that would be some kind of weird difference to people, like how if the baby has no heart or if the baby does have a heart, it somehow changes something, because it makes no difference. If it has a heartbeat, it has a heartbeat. Whether it's a fully grown 4-chamber heart or a 1-chamber that's developing, who the fuck cares?
Well, they find germs on Mars and they say that that's life, and the kid's heartbeat, that's not a life.
I'm just arguing like from a strictly scientific developmental, like forget.
I'm saying scientific. That's all. I'm not even saying philosophical.
Who cares if it's fully developed or not? Like, there are people walking around right now with 3-chamber hearts because they have a defect.
That's true.
Are they not alive? Like, that's a stupid argument to make, first of all. And you're wrong. And the fact that you keep saying Google it this way means that you have cognitive dissonance. You are looking for the narrative that you want to suit your belief, to make you feel better. That's fine. Do what you want. I don't actually care. And Olga, I'm not saying it makes a difference. I was just observing that I've never met a woman who is a mother who is not anti, well, I've lost myself, who is pro-choice. Like, not pro-choice, but gung-ho pro-choice. Like, late-term abortion pro-choice. I'm just saying.
Late-term abortion, because again, that's what I'm saying, there's nuance.
Saying, it was just
because if we're talking about what New York wanted to do, which is you can abort a kid, what was it like?
I think it passed. I think you could.
Till up to birth or whatever. That is crazy for a lot of reasons. First of all, that's gotta be dangerous for even the mom to try to keep. Anyways, all that shit, that's nuts to me. But that's crazy extremes, because right now, like I said, there's so much nuance for you to blanket. And I get, like, Planned Parenthood, I get it started as a racist thing. I get that it's fucking, they just didn't want black people to have kids. I get that. Jeez. It was a shitty, it was all eugenics. It's all race-based. I get that. But you can tell me that there hasn't been cases that now it's being used for, good or for, that's why it's nuance. You don't know. It should be, everything should be looked into in detail.
Everything in life that involves the life of a person.
Yeah.
I don't mean the baby. I mean anyone's life.
Anyone's life, yeah.
If
it should be nuanced.
Life can be given or taken, there should be like context, and like women should have the right to get abortions.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, they shouldn't even have the right. It's not that. The idea that it's being mandated or states decide and they're making it a right I can't even fully comprehend it, because if a woman needs an abortion, she should be able to get it whenever she can.
There's a
but
lot
at
of
the same
reasons.
time,
There's a lot of
there's
reasons.
a lot of
Even-
argument from the other side that gets into this whole like, women are just having like 50 abortions. That's not happening.
That's very rare.
That's fucking not
That is
happening.
very
Like,
rare.
If a woman is, forget even the extreme cases of rape or, I'm talking about if a woman wants to have an abortion, that is her and her. Here's the kicker for me.
Yeah.
Fathers are often left out of the conversation, and I understand that in a lot of cases when a woman goes for an abortion,
They're
no
absent.
father.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah.
absent figure. But like a couple who is a couple and they decide, it's them. They're deciding together. It's not because she's letting him decide for her. It's because they did something together.
Yeah.
And now they've come to terms with it. And now they're like, okay, we're making a decision. It's not like we have to force this right for the father. Any logical, fully functional human being who is out there making decisions.
It's a team.
It's a team effort.
It's a team sport, yeah.
And I just want to be clear,
we're always arguing these extremes, and I don't understand it.
Oh no, we're not asking people to go get abortions. Is that what you're gonna clarify?
No, we're not anti-abortion either.
Oh no, obviously not.
Absolutely
You know
not.
what I mean? Yeah, because
I wouldn't even say that we're pro-choice because
If anything, some of you should have been aborted.
that implies that I could be anti-choice. Like, no, you should have the right to do
No,
that.
you should. But obviously,
able to. Fuck the right.
again,
Be able
everything in nuance, and there
Yeah,
should be limits.
100%.
And just because I don't like the fact that they're telling everyone now you can't do anything, it does not mean that I agree with these late-term abortions of the fucking kids about to pop out in a month, and you're like, nah, let's just axe them. That shit's crazy to me.
Or
Is that what late-term abortion means?
They had this whole thing.
Because I
in
remember
New
we
York,
did an
in
episode
New
on
York,
this just thing
yeah, we had the
about
whole
New
thing,
York
yeah.
for late-term abortion. Then after
then
the
they were-
episode,
they were-
I looked into it.
I
Yeah,
think what happened in New York is that you were able to be able to abort up until 9 months. That you still could. It's legal. I think at some
and they
point,
snapped the kid's neck. I remember they were saying
Yeah,
the whole.
what?
It was weird. Yeah,
At some point, they were trying to pass even after birth.
yeah, but that's not
How
gonna
do you?
fly.
You can abort a birth. Well, that's murder.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
But it didn't pass.
But it's also murder up until 9 months if the kid's fine, because technically it's still
Exactly.
a kid.
If the kid will not survive the birth, I get it. Just get rid of it now that it's small. If the mother will die,
I get that
I
too.
get that too.
But that's what I'm saying. It's nuanced.
you know what I mean? I understand all these things and I'm for it. But
Late-term abortions are generally
Look at New
at
York.
the tail end of the second trimester. That's not 9 months, guys.
No, we did the whole. You're the one who brought up the articles on this just thing in New York. What they were trying to pass up until 9 months.
yeah.
You brought it to the table, and then we got super
But let's
heated.
be serious for a second.
Yeah.
This just thing, not known for its research.
No, but it was a whole thing in the news at the time.
I think they just ran with it though, because like I remember afterwards. Now I'm seeing articles again. It's not in the third trimester.
Young Jamie, bring that up.
I thought Roe versus Wade gave women the right to have abortions. Why do we need new state laws? I mean, it says here late-term abortion, as they're talking about it in New York, is legal here
Where?
in Canada.
Oh, in Canada, I don't think we have any issues with the. We just don't have Planned Parenthood, but it doesn't mean that you can't.
I mean, you don't need
don't need
Planned
it here.
Parenthood when none of the laws go against what people are trying to do. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Here, it's not an issue.
In that sense, Canada's a progressive.
21
Is that the
weeks.
right-
What?
21 weeks. What's the length of a gestational period for humans? 39 weeks? No, that's not right. 38 weeks.
Isn't 21 weeks a lot?
21 weeks is not that a lot. Like the kid can't safely be born at 20. After 24 weeks, the lungs are developed. The kid can live on its own. Because I remember we had issues with the first pregnancy, and like we were trying to get past that point. Like
That's the make or break point.
if the kid has to be delivered before, I think it was 24 weeks.
It's gonna be rough.
They're gonna have to go into like an incubator, and it was scary for a while because
Yeah, my buddy's
blood
kid
pressure
was in
was
that.
all over.
But he's fine now.
Who?
He was premature. He was in the incubator,
Yeah?
all that, but he's fine now. The kid. It took him
That's
a
good.
while. Yeah.
We got lucky. Like she came out. I think she was 32, 36 weeks. I don't know. She was like a month.
I don't know.
old.
The kid was. It's a boy. He was severely premature.
Your friend was this kid or his kid?
His kid.
His kid.
Recently. You
Oh,
know him.
that-
He's your friend too.
Really?
Okay, so a
I
woman
didn't know.
can
I
get an
can't think
abortion
of any friends
after
who had
20.
kids recently.
It wasn't recently. It was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That's how I know the kid's fine now.
Oh okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Under New York's previous law, which had been in place since 1970, abortion was legal during the first 24 weeks of pregnancy. After 24 weeks, a pregnant woman could only get an abortion if her life was at risk.
Which is normal.
Yeah, the newly enacted Reproductive Health Act expands on what's legal after 24 weeks, allowing a woman to get an abortion after 24 weeks if her health is threatened, not just her life, and if the fetus would be unable to survive outside the womb.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm okay with it. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, nah, bro, die.
The new law also moves abortion regulations from the state's criminal code to health code, thereby removing the threat of criminal prosecution for medical professionals who perform abortions. And it allows nurse practitioners, physicians.
The fact that even is
the fact that you could go in because you're gonna die and they have to abort it, and then they throw the guy in jail is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That's what I was trying.
But that's the evolution.
But yeah, I'm for that. I'm for that.
Of course.
I mean, I understand. Actually, you know what? To be completely honest, I don't like, this like Christian right-wing element in the U.S. Where
I'm not even thinking about that.
No, I'm using them as an example now.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're like, no. What about a medical? No. What about this specific? No. Like the fact that.
But is everyone like that? Because to be honest,
they're a small minority.
because I've met a lot of people that are like against like fully abortions, but they all, when I go, well, what about it? And they go, no, that makes sense. I've never met, nope, you keep the rape baby. Nope, you keep the kid that's going to kill you. No, I've never met anyone like that. So I don't know what the fuck, where are these rules coming from? Like, who are you trying to please? So you're trying to please people that don't exist.
I think we've slipped into something accidentally here.
Yeah.
We've fallen into a situation that mirrors every other conversation we've ever had with
About
information we took from the news. All they do
is sensationalize
things to create this nonsensical debate so we can fight with each other.
They create the villain that doesn't exist.
So they can prove to us that, well, you need politicians doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Who's going to do it? You guys can't get along.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You need us. Here's an envelope from my friend. Yeah, it's all corruption.
But what I said is still stands true. You can probably get away with not having abortions in most cases if you would make it readily available, all the other options. But I find it crazy that there's certain places that they don't want to talk about sex in high school. They don't want to teach them things. They don't give out condoms.
Did you have sex ed?
They can't go. We had sex ed, but our sex ed, all it taught us was positions, to be honest. But anyways, but I remember they were giving out condoms for free. You could even go to the nurse and get condoms.
Yeah, we used to all leave with like fucking
and we have access.
We used them.
But here you also have access to the Plan B pill where you can go the next day or something. You know what I mean?
Plan B is an important.
But that's
part
what I'm
of the
saying.
medical.
You can't. It's like telling someone, okay, you can't go to the grocery store to buy your food. It's like, fine, but I could grow my own chickens and stuff and plants. No. But I have to eat. Yeah, you gotta eat.
But you can't buy food.
You can't buy food, or you can't grow your. Like, I don't like it when you do that. If you tell someone like, here, I know you're not allowed in the city to grow your own. You can't have chickens and all that.
You can't have balcony chickens.
But you can go buy at the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. So if you tell this is what fucks me with these states. I remember I looked into it a while ago and I was like, that's a little strange because they don't even want to talk about sex or sex ed in class. They don't give out condoms for free because they think that'll be promoting. People are gonna bang. Yeah. Try your best to keep these kids safe. Not getting disease, not getting pregnant while being informed, instead of setting them up for a fucked up situation.
Like, think about it for a second. Right now, there are classes happening all across the world with young kids where they're teaching them how to put on a mask and how to stay distant from each other.
Do the same thing with your penis.
Do the same thing with your genitals.
Also, something Christine says in the chat, Plan B is not given if the girl's overweight as per BMI. The pharmacist doesn't give it. Okay, but let's be honest. How many obese bitches are out there getting pregnant?
A lot. A
lot, bro.
What?
A lot.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'm pretty sure, because I used to work for the healthcare system, and Plan B was something that came up a lot. And well, I missed something. I missed something good.
You like it, man? I'm a funny guy.
I'll watch it in the stream.
I'll tell you after.
I'll watch it in the replay. Was I saying, Plan B? And this is purely anecdotal, this part. Somehow, 95% of all cases of young women who came in for Plan B, no matter how hard they tried, they always ended up falling on me, the only guy at the desk. And it was always this awkward exchange. And I was like, it's fine. Like, it's cool.
You could buy it at the pharmacy.
Yeah, but that was... A lot of people didn't know that. They used to come to this... No, CLSC, it's free. That's why.
Oh, yeah, it's $60, yeah.
Yeah, so
also,
it's free.
Cobra Kai calling out Christine in the chat.
What do you mean? What do you say?
Tons of them.
No, he goes, Christine, that's BS. I'm the one picking up the Plan B for bitches. I smash. And the pharmacist always gives it to me, no question.
Oh, yeah, but if you're a girl, they ask you questions. If you're a girl, they have to ask you questions.
So here's the reason. The actual treatment, if you're like severely overweight and you have like high blood pressure.
I was talking about Plan B because if you're a girl, they ask you questions.
Oh, really?
They sit you down and ask you questions.
I'm talking about Plan B also.
A guy they won't ask?
Well, what are they going to ask the guy? How do you feel? When did this happen? Did your menstrual cycle? What the fuck are they going to ask the guy, bro?
So there's a danger to the person taking it. That's why they have to see a doctor. They can't get it at the pharmacy. They have to go to a clinic and be evaluated. And I mean, that doesn't seem like an infringement of rights. That seems like a safety issue.
Yeah, but also they ask women, I'm not
sure.
I also think they ask girls because a lot of girls, if they were getting raped at parties and that, weren't reporting it and shit. They were just handling it themselves.
You know what? I'm for that shit.
Yeah, you got to...
I'm for that shit 100%.
Sometimes they're scared to talk, but you got to motivate these broads to talk because if someone's going to... No, because, dude, if someone's willing to rape you at a fucking party, bro, what's stopping that cocksucker from raping someone else? And you got to put an end to that shit. You can't let that shit slide.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% for that. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's entertaining.
It's entertaining, man.
Is it? We have a villain now? Is that what's happening?
Christine turned herself into a villain.
Yeah. She lasted long enough to watch herself turn into the villain. That's what happened.
Abort all fetuses. Yes. You know what? 3 years old, the child doesn't know how to speak. Abort.
Doesn't know how to speak. He really enjoyed that. What'd you do different today? You look different than yesterday. Did you shave? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, he shaved.
You look terrible without the stubble.
You need a bit of a stubble.
Yeah, no, you need more.
Oh, it's gonna.
And I really do. It has grown on me. This Dion haircut that he got. This inner city.
No,
haircut.
I like the haircut. The stubble is necessary. Someone wrote to Mike yesterday, and it made me laugh. A fan told him, "Is it just me, or is Poseidon turning into Lionel Richie?" And with the stubble, he looked like Lionel Richie. It was amazing. He was a little tan too. It was good. Yeah,
I can kind of see it. Mike's evolved into this like intelligentsia character now with the glasses. He looks all like sophisticated. Then I think of the Mike I remember from like that show he had in the 90s. What was that called? That show, Le Grand Show?
Yeah.
Where he's like
fucking
a mess. I was like, how is this the same human being?
So that evolution, my friend.
Evolution.
You evolve as a human.
I debulb. I lose all my hair. I am bald.
So Maxime Bernier forgot to call me. Do I text him?
Text him. Say, yo, Max, it's me. I'm not one of your candidates.
This guy's very forgetful.
Is supposed to come today?
It's supposed to come today. He told me last night because the debates wouldn't have him. I said, I'll have you. You want to come? I got to ask you some questions. But it's funny. Yeah, the liberals are even though they promised to come, they're very scared to come for open conversation.
I don't know why that amused me so much. They promised to come, but they're very scared to come.
Yeah.
After the abortion debate?
Before the abortion debate. We don't have an abortion debate. We were debating the fact that Christine said something that wasn't scientifically true.
That's what we're not debating abortion here. We're not anti-abortionists.
We're just anti-Christine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you can Google like that. If they're wrong, they're wrong. That's it. But I don't know why you guys said that she was trying to say, no, we'll Google it this way.
Yo, Big Joe says 19% of Quebecers are illiterate. And I like that he can talk shit about them because they can't even read it. Big Joe puts a mask on and goes into deaf places and he just starts talking shit. He's like, you saw they did nothing. Bitches know what's up. What is a deaf place? A deaf place?
You think they have like
Well, there's a place right here off the 40. If you pass Saint Laurent, it's l'association or the Fédération des
Is that those places where you can literally hear your own heartbeat and shit? It's like those rooms.
Stop talking. No, it's the Association of Deaf People in Quebec.
What do they play cards there? What do they?
I don't know. They have this really big building, and I was like, how much funding does this place have? Like, it's so close to the fucking highway. Like, it's literally like from here to here to the highway. And then it occurred to me that the noise doesn't bother them.
Oh yeah.
Like that's
the
why
noise. They can feel the vibrations.
Yeah, maybe they feel it more.
But if they're, I'm just curious. What do you do? Like you hang out? They play cards?
No,
what
it's
were you
not
thinking?
Like an association. It's not like a Silogo, like where they go and they hang out and they talk shit about the government.
They should.
I think it's like they make sure that like they have access in society.
I get that, but shouldn't there be like a community center for deaf people where you can go meet other deaf people, perhaps date?
I'm sure they have something.
And do you think deaf and blind people get along? I don't think
you're supposed to say deaf anymore.
Oh my God, no! What am I supposed to say, Phil?
I think they decided they have a new term.
I think deaf and blind people really get along. One's the ears, one's the eyes.
Okay, stop. How would they communicate?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
How would they communicate? I mean, I guess a blind person could learn to sign.
It's too complicated.
It seems complicated.
But anyways, what were you going to say? Deaf is a bad word now?
Braille, that's how they communicate.
It's the N-word for deaf people now?
I don't think it's not an N-word thing.
People? Deaf, he says.
Really? So what do we say?
I'm checking.
Hearing impaired, lack of hearing.
Yeah, hearing impaired.
Hold on.
That's some bullshit, though. This is made up stuff. There's nothing wrong with deaf. It's not an offensive term. You're just describing. What about blind? That's bad too?
I'm looking, man.
What do I have to say? Daredevil syndrome.
That'd be cool. I think, okay, first of all, so I can't find what I was thinking of. Maybe I misunderstood.
But that's just an impairment. It doesn't mean you're blind.
Yeah, I'm visually impaired.
I'm visually impaired.
Yeah.
Visually deficient.
You should have seen the issue. I had my
Deficient,
contacts this
for
morning.
sure. That's not that. Me too. What happened to you?
It's the fucking left one, bro. It's fucking, it wouldn't go in. It was blurry. I was like, why is it blurry? It's fresh. I just took it out of the pack.
Maybe too much liquid. I used to sleep with mine all the time. It was
I
never
don't
an
sleep. I
issue.
don't sleep with them.
I stopped about a year ago, or maybe 8 months ago. Last night, I just dozed off with them on. I woke up this morning
dry
like
as fuck. Yeah. Oh.
my eyes were bloodshot. I was like, how did
Yeah.
I do this for years?
Yeah.
Terrible feeling. I changed them. I couldn't keep them on. I was like, I was trying to see and I was blinking and they were going, they were like pulling on my corneas. I was like, no, these need to come out right now. My daughter was watching me take them out of my eye and she's like, those look pretty stuck, Dad. Like, I'm like,
Well, what's the term for deaf people? The correct one? If it's, are you sure?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think
Let me Google it.
what I remember is
There's no way deaf
they
is
no longer
offensive.
call them like deaf people and normal people.
hard of hearing.
Stop.
Hard of hearing, but
You're hard of hearing.
you're hard of hearing. We're talking about full deaf.
That's because I have too much earwax.
And how are they gonna get offended, bro? Are they gonna hear this?
You know, there's a surgery for people who can't hear, right? Like it's called a cochlear, I think, implant.
A cochlear.
Yeah, I know.
I got the same surgery.
As soon as I said it.
What do you mean? Yeah, there's all kinds of advancements
Speaking
happening,
of cochlear, this morning he was in my office and being weird and telling me he wanted to put his dick in my ear. It was very strange. Has this ever happened to you?
From time to time, he says that exact line to people. I don't know why. I don't know why he
Weird.
goes for the ear.
He's like, I want my dick in your ear. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
He's like, because it's going to come out the other side. I was like, that's weird. That's kind of gay.
he called you an idiot. It's gonna come on the other side. There's nothing in there blocking it, bro. Yeah, I don't think you're. I don't think deaf is a real bad word. I think that's bullshit.
I feel like there's another. Look, I'll be honest. I don't remember. I feel like there's
Actually,
another term.
deaf isn't. It's not a bad term.
Okay, good.
It says over deaf and hard of hearing people prefer to be called deaf or hard of hearing.
Oh, there we go.
okay,
That's
good,
fine. Yeah,
good,
deaf.
good.
It's fine.
I think they call us hearing instead of normal because normal implies that they're not. That's what I was thinking of maybe.
yeah.
Like the hearing community.
That's-
I mean, we hear.
we are a hearing community.
We
That's
do
true.
hear.
Don't they put those thingamajigs on their ear to help them hear?
What are you talking
If you're
about?
fully deaf, you
Not
can't
if
wear
you're
a
fully
hearing
deaf.
aid.
There's nothing there.
No, but the hard of hearing.
The hard of hearing, yeah. My
hard of
grandfather's
hear-
hard of
They
hearing.
put that device, no?
But aren't the hard of hearing part of the hearing community also? Because they can hear. It's just harder.
They're like in the middle. They're like bisexuals, I guess.
No, they're not bisexuals. Bisexuals go both ways. That means they can hear and not hear.
Yeah, they can hear and not hear.
Oh shit! Interesting.
What a strange conversation we're
Pepper
having.
Mario in the chat. He's working for a company that does relay service of deaf and hard of hearing, and the President Association wants them to say deaf.
Etsy,
Okay.
bravo. I was correct.
Thank you, Pepper Mario. We appreciate that.
Bro, because if deaf was going to become another N word, I was going to lose my shit. Like, because now we're just making it up.
Like an R word.
Yeah, because you're making words bad that aren't bad.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wait, here. En français, ils disent que c'est discriminatoire. No, wait. That's one of the rules. No one can hear me speak French. So it's part of my mystery. I'll just read it quietly. Yeah, so, Weird Beast is saying in French there is a difference. But I'm not sure how
What do you
that would
mean?
translate into English. Like, because he's using a bunch of different terms that are like not okay.
What do you mean? In French?
Yeah.
Different language, bro.
I mean, we live here. It's part of the culture. So I'm just curious. Like, French tends to be more
Bro,
accepting
in French,
of weird
sometimes saying
terms.
stop is offensive. So it's not
Stop.
the same
If
deal.
you say it like this, stop.
Stup.
Stop.
That's in France.
That's in France.
yeah.
Stop.
Stup.
Oh, mais c'est sympa. On va
Why don't you just
stopper.
put arrête? No. C'est une stup.
Stop. Stop is an easier word. It's one syllable.
I get it, but it's a different language.
You know what it's called in Greece? Stop sign.
Stop sigh.
Stop sign.
Stop saying.
Stop sign. That's it. There, stop sign.
But yeah, no.
What would you even-
The
what would it
deaf.
call
What about the
English?
blind? Is that offensive now too?
I mean, I don't know. They're blind.
Are they blind
Mute
to
is wrong.
justice?
I think mute is wrong.
The politically correct terms are visually impaired or sight impaired.
Sight impaired or
It's
visually
pretty
impaired?
verbose.
The politically correct. So you're telling me blind is no longer politically correct?
Yep.
Interesting.
That is absurd. We're making.
What about
shit-
like the Centers for the Blind?
Yeah.
They changed them to the Centers
That's
for the Visually Impaired.
offensive. Could you imagine? Would you call it the Center for? It's like,
I was
no,
about
it's
to
not.
say like they're gonna have to change all their fucking signs now, but no, they don't.
Oh, yeah, they should.
can't-
Blind guys
they-
can't see.
Yeah.
Like in where's this place? In Massachusetts, there's a place called the Carroll Center for the Blind.
Exactly.
Yeah, but those
But they're just-
Bostonians, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're just making fun of the blind guys. They're like, "What's this place called? The Center for the Visually Impaired."
We made the same joke twice and it worked both times.
That's it, funny.
Yeah. The Center for the yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure it doesn't say blind? Oh yeah.
Wow,
Go
what?
feel it. Go
We
feel
would
it.
never say such offensive
Go
terms.
touch it. Go touch it. I'm
Yeah.
good. I believe you.
But going back to how the deaf and the blind would be able to communicate, Braille. They could both learn Braille. Even the deaf could learn Braille.
Yeah,
Much
but
easier.
I wouldn't
Much
force.
easier.
How do you
I wouldn't
write
force
Braille on the fly?
Yeah, and I
'Cause
wouldn't.
if there's a way, tell me. I don't know.
I wouldn't force Braille on a deaf guy.
So you're
doesn't
sitting
have
there
to
with a
learn.
stick and you're just making dots so you can talk to someone.
Oh yeah.
How would the blind people write Braille? That must be super complicated for them. I'm sure they could do it, but it must be a nightmare to do.
Yeah, it's fucking difficult, bro. Fuck that shit. That's annoying. You're just ruining their quality of
I
life.
didn't think that through.
Yeah, you didn't think that through at all. I just thought about it. It's fucking stupid. I think. This is difficult. So here's the thing: if the blind guy wasn't always blind, and wait. Even that wouldn't help. Yeah.
There's no easy answer.
Oh wow, there's no easy answer. This
How
is
would the blind-
difficult.
I think we stumbled
I'm
on something.
sorry to say.
So you're telling me there's a
we'll be able to
segment?
solve this problem.
You're telling me there's a segment of society that just can't, for the life of them, properly communicate with each other? That's crazy to me.
Maybe.
So then they would need to be three: a blind, a deaf, and a mute.
Now it sounds like a joke, though.
Yeah. A mute.
Add a Jew in there too, and they all go to the bar.
And the devil's work in the bar.
Yeah. No. Fuck, bro. Why can't we
that
figure this out?
basic off,
Hold on.
bro.
Why can't we can figure this out? We can
How
figure
would a
this out.
blind and a deaf
Okay,
person
hold on.
communicate?
Let me think. Ooh, a stenographer could be with them. That makes sense, Colonel.
A what now?
A stenographer. They're just writing everything.
No,
in
because
Braille.
now you need a third party. It doesn't.
Okay, without a third party.
Without a third
What
party.
about an app?
Huh?
An app.
This is where technology is
So you
coming
tell
in
the
handy.
app what you want, and you
But
turn
again,
it,
that's a
and
third
it
party.
does- I
Again,
don't
that's a
know.
third party.
Oh, but here's
No,
the
an
thing.
app is not really a third party. I mean,
Because a blind guy can speak,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So the blind guy will talk into the app and say, "Hey, my name is Trevor," and then the app on the
it's showing the ASL version of it.
yeah, because the deaf person could see. So
Right.
yeah, it just shows the sign. That's
Oh, wait,
something.
hold on.
That's
We're
something.
overthinking it.
No, or
if the deaf person can read lips, we're halfway there. Thank you.
Also, if the blind person speaks into the app, it doesn't need to show a video of doing sign language. It could just
write it.
It could just write it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can just read. That's true. I'm like, yeah, they can read. They're deaf, not stupid. I love that while we're doing this right now, we can only offend the blind people.
I'm not offending anyone. We're not making fun
but
of
we
anyone.
have no
We're
risk
trying
of
to-
offending the deaf people. They can't hear us.
They could read my lips.
They can't read my lips. I'm hiding.
No,
Hold on, we're trying to.
this is an actual curious
the
thing.
app is a good
We've
idea.
stumbled upon a curiosity, but I'm sure there's a way. Did you Google it?
Actually,
Google has all the answers.
how can a blind?
The blinds can.
Oh my
hold
God!
hand-
It's one of the first searches.
Yeah.
It's
not
just
the only
listening
ones
to
that-
us.
Why is the answer abortion?
Some deaf blind people use a screen braille communicator.
Oh, communicator.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
Communicator.
Communicator.
I guess it has like tactile responsive display that you can touch.
Yeah, this is a small portable
Oh,
device
remember
that
those
enables
things
them-
that you put your hand in and the hand comes out on the other side? Those metal pegs?
I don't think it's that.
It's similar
So,
to that.
this is a small portable device that enables them to communicate with sighted people. The deaf-blind person reads the printed text.
Bro, this is amazing technology. Can you imagine 150 years ago being deaf and bro? It would have been.
Forget being
it's a
deaf
death
and blind.
sentence.
Think about my prescription.
wait,
I have
Vice-
a
Vice made
-7
an
prescription. If I wasn't born after the 19th century, I would have been discarded.
Fuck.
Like I would have just
bro.
died because I couldn't find my way around. I would have been hit by a fucking
This
horse.
is it's fucking fantastic. In 15 years from now,
called a braille note. by the way.
Also a lot of hand touching.
yeah, that's normal. I like that too. But in 15 years from now, people that right now have no chance of
this thing is so
walking or playing a
cool.
sport are going to be living normal lives, bro. This is we're doing it. Bro, we're fucking doing it. The technology being used for good is awesome.
This is so interesting. Look, they're communicating. They're using this device, this
Tell me
braille note.
that's not badass, Phil.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I
As,
honestly,
as much as technology destroys us with social media and Photoshop images of women so then little girls can't reach that status and then they commit suicide and all that kind of shit.
and then little boys end up trying to reach that status.
Yeah, exactly. Apart from all the
they
negatives
do.
of technology, apart
they
from all the
do.
negatives of technology, fuck, bro. It's shit like this that makes you have hope
Hopeful. You're hopeful.
in humanity. Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, Not to support communism.
I once accidentally ran into a blind guy
What?
when I was in high school. Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
I knocked him off his course.
Oh, a blind guy. I heard a blind guy.
I used to have a deaf client when I worked at Telus.
Yeah, he fell into bushes.
Did you
And then
help
he
him
got
out?
up and went the wrong way.
Poor guy.
And then I didn't know how to handle it.
When I started high
He
school,
walked into the street after.
No way.
He was bounced completely fucked up. I ruined him.
Oh wow, that's kind. You didn't say anything to him after. You just got really quiet.
I just said, "Oh fuck!" And then he got up by himself. I was like,
Wait, hold on. How did you push him into the bush?
He just bumped into
"No,
him.
you know when you're walking on the sidewalk."
Yeah.
I was looking the other way. I didn't realize he was blind. Yeah, stick. So when we collided, it was like a hockey check. He just.
So I had never met.
What's he gonna do, bro? Report me?
I had never met anyone who was deaf my whole life until I got to high school. I had never even seen a person who was deaf. I had never seen anyone communicating in sign language. So I get to high school. It's my first day. I'm walking with this kid I just met, this guy Alex. We're both new to the school. And he had gone to the elementary school there, though, actually. So he knew a few kids, but he was like showing me around. And I walk past this table in the cafeteria, and everyone's...
Oh, it feels like, oh my God, gang signs.
So
My
I'm
father
like-
was right about these kids.
I'm watching them. I'm watching them. I'm like...
I do not want to join your blood or your Crips.
So I'm watching them, and I have no idea what they're doing, right? And at some point... So fuck you. So we go get lunch. We sit down, and I'm watching them the whole time, and they're laughing, like audibly. I can hear them laughing.
Yeah.
But they're far enough that I wouldn't be able to hear them talking if they were talking out loud. So I just assume that they're playing charades because I'm sheltered and I'm an idiot. I'm 13 years old.
What a good school.
So I look at someone at the table, and in an attempt to like make a joke, I'm like, look at those losers playing charades, and they're like, yo, they're deaf. Where are you going?
I hurt my back.
My story ruined you. It was too bad.
You guys close the show in 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, he's going to masturbate to just release some good dopamine into his system. So I made an ass of myself, and it took me like a month for anyone to talk to me after that because everyone thought I hated deaf people.
Are you okay?
My back is...
You just hurt your back right now?
No, it's been 2-3 days. I slept funny. My neck was fucked up, and now my...
You should let Poseidon put his dick in your ear. Go to the massage. Anyway, we'll talk about it.
No, I think I need a Cairo.
Okay, we'll talk after.
They're having a whole conversation. I mean, guys, I'll be honest. Without him here and just me and Poseidon, I'd rather end on a high note. Me talking about a story where I inadvertently made fun of deaf people by accident, and I do apologize. I did apologize to them, but I don't think.
Cares, bro?
I think my apology at that point fell on deaf ears.
Oh, you bastard!
We're playing music.
I hate you.
Hit the music.
I hate you.
Do it.
Why are you like this?
Ending on a high note with a dad joke.
No, that's ending on a deaf note.
You're right. It was a bit tone deaf. My name is Phil Balabanos, and this has been The Morning Show, guys. I hope you enjoyed the nonsense. We started off strong. We talked about the debate. We kind of talked about abortion for a bit randomly because, I mean, when is that not a fun conversation to have with a bunch of guys in a room? Abortion. My name is Phil Balabanos. If you need videos, if you need any kind of commercial shot, you want content for your social media, all that stuff that requires that you capture the moving images, balabanos.com. And for those of you who said my hat is cool, I thank you. And you said, I saw it in the chat. I know who it was. I appreciate it. It is a fun last name to say. Poseidon, the Poseidon69. He's the producer of The Morning Show and many other shows on this channel. If you're not already following Poseidon, you should. You should. He posts weird things like the other day when he poured milk out the window because he's a degenerate.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I sandbagged him good.
Bastard again.
But very fun. Pantelis.com/Patreon is where you can get early access to all the shows. Subscribe on the YouTubes because if you subscribe, you get access to everything. You never miss an episode. You always know what's happening. And we have a new show with Terry and Ted, Legends, which they don't like to be called because legends never die and they're immortal vampires. Terry and Ted, the Standing By podcast on this channel. Nowhere else in the world can you see them. You can hear them on Spotify, on Google, on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
You can hear the podcast, but if you want to see them at this very table, subscribe. George is gone. We already plugged him, but you know him. George Andrews, the Backstage Podcast. Just as Dad's doing a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of people from the current campaign on the show. I thank you for tuning in. Not really. You're not tuning in. It's not the fucking 40s. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on... when do we do shows? Wednesday. We'll see you Wednesday.